Hey, True Believers England teen here, and it's tier night, I guess. It's been a while. I've been holding on to this list now for what, 2 weeks? It's taken us a little bit to get back to it, but what we're doing here is we are counting, or tier listing, I should say, the greatest of all, or all of Batman's stories. We're seeing which one is the greatest, which one is the worst. Now, when I say Batman stories, I mean they have to have appeared within his ongoing series. The mini series, the maxi series, much like Long Halloween, those deserve their own list. So I figured let's just do the ones that run through the series, and we'll talk about that. And then later on down the road, we'll pick up with the mini series and the one shots and so forth and so on. That being said, there was a ton of them, and it took a little while, so we had to break this thing into 2 parts. And here to help is Eric Back Issue Breen.
Good evening.
And we have the vile black cat right there.
What's up, people?
And of course, the real Dr. Batman, except no substitutes.
Good evening.
Right.
I don't have a name. Neither one.
All right.
Now remember, audience, you have to remember who we are, because this is the one stream where we don't get billed.
Okay, there we go. Fine. It's all about
and
you
also
guys.
Breen sometimes forgets who he is.
Yeah, but I'm not going to forget to say you.
So welcome to Friday Night Tears.
There you go. Yes.
I started crying as soon as Cat showed up.
Let's get right back to it here, guys. All right. Here we go. Get back to comments. How you doing, Jay? Ahsoka's in the house as well. I don't know who else is in there, but let's get this thing going, and we'll talk about now. Here is one. It's called Batman City of Crime. I don't remember reading this. Anyone here?
I read it. I liked the beginning, but it went off the rails. Meaning, like, what is actually happening near the end?
Well, what was the story behind it?
So it was a murder mystery, and then Batman goes into this building, and then street, and he gets trapped in the street because sentient street or something like that. Like there was a well and everything. So, and that just confused me.
Batman versus Danny Street.
There you go. Hey, yeah.
It was an evil street.
Okay,
Danny
and once
is more neutral.
And once again, in the chat, if you have read this and you want to help tier list this, we're going by didn't read, and then we've got awful, bad, average, good, and then S tier is awesome. So let us know what you think if you've read a story, but make sure you're putting your 2 cents in quickly, because if not all of us have seen it, only one of us is going to vote. Where would you put this, Vile Black Cat?
In the middle. What's after bad?
Average.
Cat, where was this story?
This started in 800, and then 800 went up to 806, I think, or a little longer.
Of detective?
Yeah.
Okay. I do not remember that one.
Birch and Joe talk about this a lot, so I decided to go read it and didn't like it that much.
Yeah, what is this one on didn't read? Usually I've got them. Hold on, let me check, because I've got all of
Wait, is that Birth of the Demon?
Birth of the Demon. It's not Tales of the Demon. Yeah, I think that is. I read that.
Why is it in?
Yeah, it's Birth of the Demon. That's not I didn't read. Okay, so these are the graphic novels. You had the Son of the Batman. You had the what was it? Where of course we find out
it was Son of the Demon, Birth of the Demon,
yeah, that's
and Bride of the Demon.
Yeah, these were okay. I mean, I don't remember too much about them, but they're not didn't reads. I've read these. I liked it. Obviously, Son of the Demon was the one that kicked it off, and yeah, that one.
Yeah, Son of the Demon and then Bride of the Demon.
It was more of a romance story between him and Talia al Ghul. It's really kind of what pushed all of that to the forefront.
Yeah,
his romance with Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
Yeah, it was the origin of how Ra's Talia's mom died. Like there was
so
Kane,
this is something I would put this in the good tier. How about you, Evil Black Cat?
Good tier.
Yeah.
Like the last one wasn't that great, but the first two were amazing. The first two take it to great tier, but the last one pulls it down a little bit.
Okay, should I presume that Frank Miller? I think year one was in the last one, and it got S tiered. Okay, and Ahsoka says good too, so let's move that up. Yeah, that I don't see.
Or we can just say we skipped year one because we don't like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to believe that. Okay, in the 90s, one of the things that happened before No Man's Land was that a virus hit Gotham. I believe it was an attack by Ra's al Ghul. And so, of course, this is all about them scrambling to find a cure, stopping all the higgledy-piggledy that is started by all of the chaos. And I liked it. It was one of those, it was very tense story. How do you punch a virus? You know, they've got to actually use their brains in this one. And so you get more of a detective kind of thing. Eric, did you ever see this one?
Too many droplets. Yeah, I actually have the trade. I'd be hard pressed to come up with any details, but I do remember I liked it because I was a mark for bad events in the 90s. Mm-hmm. I don't think they missed on any of them.
One of my favorite parts was the Tower of Babel. Of course, the rich people kind of shuttered themselves into this big building and then found out that it was. Are you in trouble there, Cat? But then found out
there is going to be political violence here today.
Yeah, everybody was in the building ended up getting sick, including Robin, if I remember correctly. And I don't think it was Tower of Babel because that's JLI or JLA. Yeah. I am going good on this one.
It was great that Robin got 4 booster shots.
Right. Yeah, he got the
Nazis at risk of monkeypox.
Yeah.
Well, they were able to find a cure for this because they didn't listen to Fauci.
Yeah, poor Gorilla God. It was a singled out. Same with Dr. Chimp. Monkeypox started hitting.
Right.
Yeah, I do remember that story now you mentioned about the rich people sequestering themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, like the top floor of a skyscraper or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Batman sending Poison Ivy to save them, and then surprise, surprise, she betrayed them. So he had to send Catwoman. Was that Contagion or was that Legacy? I keep mixing those two up.
I think that was Contagion. I remember that. Did they mask up Gotham? They did not. Once again, they did not listen to Fauci. Therefore, they were able to save Gotham. I think this is in the good category. I'm going to move that there.
Yeah.
All righty. Here is this one is Riddler. I got to tell you, I remember reading it, but I don't remember anything about it. So best I can only vote average. This one is called Dark Knight, Dark City.
This is the one where with one of the founding fathers, right? And the demon.
Yeah, and Riddler is taken over by a demon.
I want to quickly before we move on. Soka said she said S tier for the last one.
Okay.
So that's where you put it. So I don't know.
Alrighty. How about this one, Dark Knight, Dark City?
Never heard of it.
I would
put it in good.
I'd need some refresher on that one myself.
Okay.
It's when Riddler becomes extremely violent, starts killing people. Like he was possessed by a demon. There was George. I'm not sure if it was George Washington. It was one of the founding fathers. And they trapped a girl with it. They were trying to summon a demon in the cult, and they put a girl. They trapped a girl, and Batman had to save her soul in order to save himself.
Now, I do have to ask real quick, Kat. Do you have somewhat of a photographic memory? Because it seems like you know these stories the way I know 76 and 77. But I can only go a couple years, and then it starts falling off. You seem to know all of these.
That's because you read a lot of comics. I focus mainly on some of them. So like how you can go with Avengers, talk about Avengers. with
So
the Roy
basically-
Thomas run, that's Batman to me.
Okay,
So
good.
basically, like Eric and I are general practitioners, and you're a specialist.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Dark City was average to good, depending on the issue. We got 2 goods. I've got to put it at average. I think we've got a I don't remember it from Eric. So I think it has to land in average. It's just a lot of I don't remember. Now, this one I'm going to bow out. You guys can talk about this. This is this one ends up being, what is this? This is Death of a Family, not Death in the Family, but Death of a Family. This is the New 52, Snyder and Capullo. The one where Joker takes off his face. If anyone wants to jump in on this one, because I did not read enough New 52 Batman to have made it here.
If we're just going for the Batman part, I would say good. If we're going for the whole series with the entire crossover issues, then I'd say great.
Okay. Now,
Because
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, we are, because it's the entire story.
all right, so I would put it in great because there was this fear factor. Like they made Joker scary in this one.
Yep.
Like everyone was terrified. There was this one issue where he goes into GCPD and he just turns off the lights, Joker, and he just kills all the cops one by one, and Gordon can just hear him kill everyone.
Yeah.
And
Cool art is awesome in this too.
Okay. So, yeah, everybody, what did you think in the chat? There, I'll put the start. Let me see what you guys are saying. Considering my dad collected a lot of Batman before I was born, I read a lot of them. I've read damn near everything for the past 30 years, but yeah, sometimes it just goes right out of your head. Death of the Family was a very good one. It belongs in Amazing, so we got an S tier. And where would you put it, Evil Black Cat?
I think it's great.
yeah, just below S tier.
Okay, there is no just below is good, and then we go to awesome. There's no like great and then awesome. It is just
No, I mean whatever the second highest tier is. Like
Good.
you have S tier and just below that, whatever.
Okay, how about you, Eric? Have you read this one?
Yes. I was going to say, Kat's right about the fear factor, but just like when we used to read Nightfall or No Man's Land, stuff like that, where even though they were running it through about 10 titles, everything fit. If you read this, the pieces don't fit. If you can just not really care about that, it achieved its goal.
So instead of being one story told throughout 12 books, it's like 12 different stories?
No, it's not. It's just like there's no way that the Joker could have been everywhere that he was in this story, because it just, like I said, it there would have had to have been 3 Jokers. But as far as like, if you take each individual issue, yeah, it was legitimately terrifying in places.
Okay, so where would you put this?
You know what? That was my favorite New 52 Batman, so I'll go ahead and put it at the top.
Okay, so we have 2 S, 1 good. I guess this hits the S. Alrighty. There are 3 BREEN beat me to it. Alrighty, so we'll put that up here. Next up, we've got the Death in the Family. Now, this is the famous story. I can actually talk about this one. Recently read it, as a matter of fact, where Robin is going off to look for his mom. Batman is dealing with the fact that there is wait, no, or maybe I'm thinking of 10 Nights of the Beast on this one.
Joker has a nuke.
Joker, yeah, and he's trying to find Joker, so he is kind of distracted. The stories both converge at the same place, and Joker beats the hell out of Jason and blows him up. So
also, then Joker becomes the Iranian ambassador to the UN.
In the last issue, he becomes the ambassador to Iran.
And the cool thing about it was they used a real country. It wasn't, Yeah, I don't give a crap a stand or whatever. I mean,
well, yeah, like
Kundak. It wasn't Kundak
yeah,
or
Kundak.
whatever.
Yeah, like Superman does.
Cortez Maltese is another one.
Gordo Maltese.
Yeah. Jay is saying legend. This goes to S tier because it's a legendary story. Joker with a nuke. What could go wrong? Says in a disguise. Death in the Family is amazing. It also has movie after it. Okay, so I'm assuming we've got 2 votes for S tier. Eric, tell us, or Venkman, let's start with you. I'm sure you've read it, right?
Yeah, I'll put it at good.
You'd put it at good? Okay, so we got 2 on the S. And we've got 1 at good. Eric?
I'm going to say S, but there's a slight caveat.
Okay.
After Crisis, Jason survived as the good kid through the Legends storyline. And then I think it was Max Allen Collins said, nah, let's make him a dick.
If it was Jim Starlin.
It was Starlin?
He hated Robin. Yeah, because he hated Robin.
I thought it was Collins that redid the origin where he was stealing the hubcaps on the Batmobile.
Yeah, he did that. He did that part, but Starlin made Jason more and more unlikable because he didn't want to use him.
Okay.
Because he believed that the existence of Robin was child abuse.
Did not know that, but no, that said, if this had still been good kid Jason, well, if it had been, he wouldn't have lost the poll. They probably wouldn't have done it. And if he'd still been a good kid and they'd done the storyline and it ended the way it did, that would have been just on top of S tier. But since he was kind of a punk, if I remember correctly, we weren't all that broken up when it happened.
Okay. So I just looked up the next story, by the way. But let's deal with this one, and I'll talk about that. Where would you put this one, Evil Black Cat?
S tier.
S tier. Okay. That's 4 for S, and it's 2 for good. I think it's a little silly. I recently read it. I do like a lot of parts of the story. I just think the whole Joker and Iran, it kind of goes off the rails for me. But we're outvoted there, Venkman, so it's going to the S tier. Next up, I was looking up. This is Gothic from Legends of the Dark Knight. And
is Gothic the one with his principal being a demon?
See, you know what? I'm trying to find it so I could actually talk about what it's about because it's been so long since I've read this. It's by Garth. What is his name? Garth Ennis? Grant Morrison. Gothic is a Batman storyline written by Grant Morrison, illustrated by Klaus Janson, published in 1990. It's a second installation.
Then it's the one with his headmaster being a demon.
Yeah, the elite members of an organized crime in Gotham City are terrorized by a serial killer named Mr. Whisper, who they believe themselves to have murdered many years ago. In their desperation, having lost several dawns, they create a makeshift bat signal to ask Batman for his protection. And Batman tells them to rot in hell. In the hell that they've created. So there you go. I don't remember the story. I do remember reading it. I do remember liking it, but it's the details. It's like Eric says. Sometimes those details, you can't.
Yeah, I read this earlier this year, so yeah. I know.
Okay, then talk about it. I, however, do remember liking it. I would put it in the good tier.
I would put it in the good tier too. Like the way that Mr. Whisper was killing the people, that was amazing. Like this was kind of like how Joker was killing people off in The Killing Fish.
Yeah.
So like Batman, so he puts a distraction. Batman is going after that, but while that's happening, he kills off his victims.
See, so the thing is the way I remember Legends of the Dark Knight, I don't think I would give anything but good or tier to the first maybe 24 issues. I think that this was really powerful stuff. So it looks like everybody's saying good. And Paolo is saying good evening. So good evening to Paolo. How are you doing? All righty. Now we're going to talk about some controversy. I know you've read this, Venkman. I'm going to let you start this off. We are talking about the story Hush. Okay.
I haven't read it. I've only watched the movie.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did read this. Okay.
Nope.
How about you, Black Cat? You want to start us off, or shall we give it to Eric?
I can start us off, or you can give it to Eric. But what I'd say is the end review was a disappointment.
The end review?
End reveal. Like who
End
Hush
reveal.
is. Yeah.
Okay.
It was very anticlimactic. The story was good and had a good mystery, but the main focus of this was Jim Lee being back on the arc. And that it was more fan service and more based it's about Bruce and Selena than it is about the actual story. Like there isn't that much meat on the bone.
Okay. Now you say good.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka is saying good. Eric, what would you say about this book?
Yeah, Cat was the reveal was Tommy Elliott, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I you know what? That's actually Cat put it perfectly. Because I said, yeah, everything he said from Jim Lee's art to fan service to it was there. I think it's a hugely overrated event in comparison to some of the other Batman stories. Because I said it's almost like what's the all hat, no cattle.
Yeah.
It's somewhat it's not quite that, but it's definitely I don't think it measures up to a lot of the other ones we're doing.
Right.
I've been told that the movie adaptation is actually worse.
Yep.
Okay, here's the thing. You take any of these books and they're fine. You know what? I think it's really cool. Poison Ivy, mind control Superman to go after Batman. We get a decent story. Batman finally having enough of the Joker and chasing him down only to find he's innocent. That is absolutely that's a good story. Individually, these make good action scenes, but if you put them together to form one story, especially with the whole is this Red Hood, is it not Red Hood thing, and of course everybody being disappointed that it wasn't, but in all honesty, the sum of the parts are greater than the whole in this one, and so I've got to say Hush is incredibly average to me. So we do have now we have two bland. I found it bland. The art was the draw, but the story doesn't really stay with you, says Paolo. Yeah, I'm agreeing. Look, any individual issue I'm going to say is good, but put them together and it just creates a flat line of a story.
Yeah, I've always wanted to read it because the concept of the story, like, it sounds cool, but I've never actually read it through. But, and hearing different parts, and then the fact you got Jim Lee's art on Batman.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful book. Yeah. And I do recommend. Look, you should read it at least once. It's actually not that long, and most of the stories are big page, little dialogue, so you can get through this book really quick. And that's probably its best feature. But as it stands, I guess we're going to go with good on this one since we're outnumbered.
Yeah. I just hated the movie change to the reveal is when I because I already knew who the reveal was, who Hush is, because I read every daily basis. I read the stuff. Yeah,
that's part of the we're afraid to do the comics thing. Like they could have introduced if they introduced Tommy Elliott in this movie, though, it would have been obvious, and they wanted a mystery. So let's move on to the next one, and we are going to go to Nightfall. And with Nightfall, if you're not around for it, you probably don't understand how freaking huge Nightfall was. They set us up, by the way. They first came out with a miniseries, The Sword of Azrael. They didn't tell us about how significant this book was going to be. Then they came out with a one-shot about a character named Bane. Who cares about that? And all throughout for like a year, they were doing things like the Riddler gets a hold of the venom drug that was in Legends of the Dark Knight. So there were all these little pieces for like a year or two. And then all of a sudden, we get Nightfall, and it really is kind of, they did us good, by the way, because once you get to Nightfall, you can look back at all these comic book issues that it's a little bit here, it's a little bit there, until boom, you get the issue where you have Bane and he says, okay, let's start this, and poof, he just blows a hole into Arkham Asylum and releases everybody. Now, issue number 400, by the way, is one issue of what took a couple of years, or at least a year for 500. Yeah. It was I like this. And by the way, at this point, we're talking about Nightfall, and that is from the beginning all the way up to Batman gets his back broken. And I got to tell you, this is incredible fun. You feel the tension, the art, the looks on Batman's face. You can see how when he faces Bane, when the bat gets broken, you absolutely can feel how tired Batman is. One of my favorite scenes, two of my favorite scenes. One was the Scarecrow and the Joker are working together, and the Scarecrow just gets tired of the Joker, so he gives him the fear gas, and that was when you get the what other flavors do you have? Yeah, and then you have one where Batman is saving people from an underground tunnel, and not like tunnels are overground, but it's people are driving. I don't know, what is it called? The Hudson, whatever. Anyway, sewer. Thank you. No, basically, it's not. They're in their cars, and it collapses, and Batman is getting people out, and it's just there was a line in there. He never quit. He never quit, and they were kind of surprised at that. So to me, it had some of the best Batman scenes ever. I put this in S tier because otherwise I wouldn't talk about it so much. How about you? Eric?
This is good. I would put it up there. The part of the story where Batman is basically fighting everybody that's been released, to get him softened up for Bane, is very powerful. The part you just mentioned where he's saving all the people, it kind of fits into my one gripe about Batman stories in general. He is a member of the Justice League. Now I realize that it would cheapen the story, but it's kind of one of those things. Two things that are kind of hard to reconcile over the years. All the times he's needed massive amounts of help, never calls Superman, or rarely calls Superman. That's one of the few things I actually give Tom King credit for, was he did it almost at the jump of his series, of his run. And at some point, the Joker going on killing sprees kind of loses its luster, when in any other walk of life, somebody, doesn't have to be Batman, but Commissioner Gordon, who is licensed to kill, or somebody, didn't put one in his dome, only be replaced by the next Joker up. Right. But that said, if you just discounting all that, hell of a story. So I give that, I'd say S tier.
All righty. How about you, Black Cat?
S tier.
Okay.
S tier.
Venkman?
S tier.
Okay, and let's see what we're getting. Jay says it's a big S for Nightfall, and Ahsoka is saying amazing. All righty, and let's see. Okay, we'll have a good stream. All right. Yeah, we might spoil some stories. That is going to happen. I don't think we're
talking about the actual books, explain why we like it. So
yeah, so I do apologize, but yeah, there will be spoilers ahead. So if that is going to, and this is not jumping down on anybody, no. I get it. I'm not a spoiler fan, and this should have been announced beforehand. So really? I get it. If you want to bow out, come back and watch. That being said, check out everything. Seriously, these are some good stories. Next up, we're going to talk about Night Quest. And once again, if you were there, a lot of people were getting pissed because this is when Azrael takes over for Batman. And in the beginning, he's trying to follow all the rules, but his training in Saint Demas starts taking over, and he puts on armor, and he becomes a more harsher, stricter Batman, willing to go a little bit further than Bruce Wayne would have allowed.
And
so
wants to get on with Catwoman.
Okay.
That was disturbing.
Yeah, did you read this there, Venkman?
Yeah, I read it.
Well, give us your 2 cents about this.
I'd say it's mid.
All right.
Up until the very end, with Batman coming back. I just don't care for Azrael. I mean, that's cool. They did something with him afterwards. Had him be his own person, but I just didn't like him being in the Batman, thing. I understand why they needed it, but I was like, "Where's Dick Grayson? Is he too young? Is he too young at this point? He wasn't Nightwing."
That story's coming up.
Exactly. So it's like they had no one to step in for Bruce's shoes, and but I don't know.
How about you, Eric?
I said I'm more familiar with the beginning of the story, and then I get a little fuzzy on like what pieces fit where going forward. Wasn't a huge fan of Azrael as Batman. But again, good stories. And I liked how he his mind progressively went south, because I think one of the things that this story was designed to do was to hammer home the point that only one man can truly be Batman.
This one and the next one. Night Quest, I actually like Night Quest. And now, of course, we can read it with hindsight. While we were reading it, it was like, what the honest hell, guys? Seriously. Along with the one thing about Night Quest, it's not just John Paul Valley, but you get the Bruce Wayne story where he's going about trying to find a cure for what ails him. In this case, it's a broken back. And he's understanding he may not be Batman again, but he's still going off and trying to find Chandra Kinsolving, who heals people. I like it. I think this is a decent story. And yes, it is supposed to set us up for ultimately the last chapter of the Nightfall saga, which is, let's face it, trying to tell you that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Overall, I understand why people don't like it, but I'm going to give it the good. All right, Black Cat, did you?
I would put it in good as well. One of the things is like they drew out the story of the Bruce getting his back healed, the quest part. And one of the things, like people not liking Jean Paul Valley, it was designed to make you not like Jean Paul Valley. Yeah. And what he is saying, that is like literally Chuck Dixon came out and said that was the whole process, like to make understand that only one person can be Batman. Like,
alrighty, Ahsoka and Jay also say good, so there we go. Let's put that up here, and we'll go to the final now. What is this? The what was that? Night's End. Night's End. I believe this also includes, because I've got it, so it's like the what do you call it?
Prodigal and Troika.
Thank you. So it does include, I believe anyway. If we show up with the others, then I'll change my tune. The Prodigal, it includes Troika. It includes Batman's got his back, and he's also trying to get his confidence back to become the Batman and face John Paul Valley.
Lady Shiva,
and she's sending assassin after assassin. Yeah, and then after that, of course, he doesn't know if he wants to be Batman yet, so he gives it to Dick Grayson. There are some really good scenes in here. Of course, the fight itself. Dick Grayson realizing that the cape is so cumbersome because he's an acrobat and he likes to fly. There's a lot of good scenes in this one. And I thought it was a great ending. It wasn't as good as the first part, but it definitely served to make it a good ending. So I would go with I would go with good on this one. How about you, Black Cat?
I would go with good as well. And to answer one of Venkman's earlier statements, why he didn't give it to Dick Grayson and gave it to John Paul Valley instead. Like in this version, like Bruce told Dick that he was putting a child at risk. He couldn't do it, so that's why he fired him as Robin. And then a few months later, he turned around and got Jason Todd. And that really hurt Dick. So like they had a fractured relationship. This is where they start fixing that relationship, like in Knight's Quest. Like they weren't on speaking terms. That's why Bruce didn't call Dick to take over as Batman. After this happened, that's when they started reconciling.
Because how old was Dick in this series? He was still like old enough to put on the mantle, was it, or he was younger?
No, he's old enough by then.
Right after the Titans broke up, I think. So
this is when they introduced Tim, right? Right around this time.
Yeah, no, Tim was a lot earlier. This is when Tim's first solo series started.
Yeah. Okay.
And it
is Tim's solo series.
Okay,
I think it was on issue 100 when this storyline ended.
So where would you put it?
I would put it. I'd put it at good also. Now, isn't there? Doesn't Batman get to beat the crap out of Bane at the end of this also?
Oh yes, yeah. One of the actually, does he beat him up here? I think no. He meets him in Bane 2 first, right? Or is it here? Because I remember I was saying, well, you fought him all tired. He's gonna whip your ass because he knows just cut the cord, right? And that's exactly what happens. The thing about Bane that I thought was funny is Batman figured out how to not just beat him but embarrass him a long time ago. So why is he still a main bad guy? Because it should always be, yep, cut the cord, beat him up when he's weak. But I guess they changed it so he's always kind of pumped up now. But overall, it's a good. We get a good from Jay. We get a good from Ahsoka. How about you, Venkman?
I thought it was good.
Okay.
So Jay is saying Nightfall trilogy saw the 2 crossovers with the Punisher first, and then versus Azrael, and then second versus Bruce.
Yeah, that's true. Also, good call on that, Jay. Good crossover too. Yeah.
Red Hood stories. I'm not sure if we already did those.
Have we done the Red Hood?
No,
I don't think. Nope. Red Hood is coming up. Red Hood is coming up.
Okay.
I don't know if you could see me going through the stories here, but there it is.
Yeah. I just remember what we did last.
I don't remember what this is though. Yeah, I know, right? It's been a month since we did this. All right, so I'm going to put this right up here at good. And next up, we've got The Last Arkham. And this is the first story in Shadow of the Bat, and it is the first appearance of
Victor Zsasz.
Victor Zsasz. Thank you.
I'll be right back.
His name was escaping me. Do you remember anything about this?
I think I read it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and I would put it high in good.
Yeah.
Like if we were ranking it, I'd say it's the second good.
It says it begins with the destruction of the old Arkham Asylum at the hands of its new administrator, Jeremiah Arkham, who inherited it from his deceased uncle, Amadeus Arkham. This asylum is revamped and fitted with numerous new security measures, and when Batman stumbles upon a series of murders resembling the serial killer Victor Zsasz's MO, Batman begins to investigate only to find Zsasz has been imprisoned in Arkham Asylum during the course of the murders. Determined to prove Zsasz guilty, Batman and Commissioner Gordon stage Batman's insanity in order to get him committed into Arkham and further investigation. Now, the one thing I have a problem just reading, and it's been a long time. I remember liking this, but one problem I have with it right off the bat is they would have removed the mask. But that being said, I'm willing to go good on this one. How about you, Black Cat?
I would say good and the higher parts of good. The reason they didn't remove the mask is that Jeremiah was a narcissist, and he thought that when he cured Batman of his insanity, one of the last phases is Batman taking the mask off and handing it over.
Okay.
So he was like the orderlies were trying to take off the mask, and he was telling them, don't take it off. Like, if you do, he won't cure Batman. Like, the mental disease is the mask. So they wouldn't take it off because that is how he cures. He thinks the Batman is going to be cured of his
Okay.
insanity.
Have you read this, Venkman?
Nope, but I think I've seen the poorly adapted version on the cartoon.
Yeah, that's because it was Scarecrow and not Zaz.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like that version.
They didn't have the scariness of Zaz going on in that one. No, it was just Scarecrow pumping something in the
water
line.
Yep.
Okay, so Ahsoka saying she liked it. Where would you put it there, Ahsoka? Yeah, they would have removed the mask, but then again, in the stories, they allow Bane to have his mask. That's true. A lot of times, especially back in the 70s, you would see him walk by and everybody was in costume. I don't think you're helping their psyches if you give them their evil people costumes.
Have we seen Bane without his mask before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What story?
The very first
had him completely naked.
Yeah, in the very first story that he's in, they show him without his mask.
So it's been a while since I read him, so I can't remember.
He's unmasked all the time in Secret Sex or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I think in Telltale Batman they actually did it too.
Next up, we have this is Lonely Place of Dying, and in this one, we get the first Tim Drake meeting up with Batman and the first Tim Drake and Robin costume. Not the first appearance, that's in year 3. But here we have Tim Drake goes up to Batman and says, "Hey, I know who you are, and you need a Robin."
Nightwing.
Thought it was, oh yeah, well, he does him first, obviously. He goes to Nightwing and he says, "You need to go back and you need to be Robin because Batman needs a Robin." He's going freaking nutso ever since Jason died. And it's basically saying, not Tim Drake, but Dick Grayson saying, "No, I can't do that. I'm my own man now." And you know where this is leading. We all know where it was leading to Tim Drake becoming the new Robin. So this is that story. And I think it is absolutely fine. It is not too shabby. I think it does not suck. It's absolutely A-okay. I'm going to put it in the average category.
In light of recent developments, we probably shouldn't use terms like "he does Nightwing first."
Okay, so maybe Nightwing was his first. I have no idea. So anyway, yes, that's where I put this. How about you, Eric?
It was good.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Black Cat?
High average to low good.
High average. Pick one, dude. Stand up and pick one.
Good.
Good. Okay.
My favorite part is the first part where he is like Tim is smart at 13 is smart and well, he later reveals at 9 he was smart enough to figure out who Batman and Robin was. But then we get to the part where there was the first story with the Titans crossover.
Yeah. Like
this crossover between Batman and Titans, and Dick goes back to Haley's circus. And there was this murder, and they frame another person for the murder, and Tim fell for that. Dick, however, did not fall for it, and Tim is like, "I'm such a good detective," and blah blah blah, like, and then Dick just puts him in his place, like how he figured that out.
My favorite part is when he meets Bernard and they start dating.
No. He meets Bernard, and Bernard is
hitting on his mom.
He's wanking one to Tim's mom.
You're remembering things wrong, old man. They changed that.
I remember they changed it, but no, that's
the most ridiculous part is Megan going up in the interviews and saying how she read those and thought they always had a chemistry, and every time in those issues they bring up and people brought up, every time Tim is talking about him, he's just calling that idiot. Why? Thank God I don't have to deal with this idiot, and he's just insulting that guy. Like
because he's sexually frustrated. That's why.
That friend that you do not want to deal with.
Ahsoka's agreeing with me that this is an average story, so we got 2 and 2.
We don't speak of Bernard anymore.
Yeah, did you read this, Venkman?
No, I did not. No, this is the Robin first series or Robin 2, or what is this?
This is the
Batman and Teen Titans. Titans, I think it was called the New Titans, crossing over.
No, yeah. I'm reading the other Superman stuff right now, so I'll get to these eventually.
Okay, Ahsoka, you're yelling at me because you did not say average, but this is your exact quote. It's okay, not good, not bad, not average. But if you, I'm going to show something to you here. We've got didn't read, awful, bad, average, good, and S. What we do not have here is okay. So Caps.
She says right there, Lonely Place of Dying is okay.
Yeah.
First thing she says. Then she
we
says,
"We don't have an okay tier.
Yeah, I know.
It's a good tier. It's a bad tier, and
I know.
And so okay is that, but we've got 2 and yeah.
Oh well, there's only okay. So you're saying between average and good for you?
So Many Deaths of the Batman is this is actually one of the stories that made me fall in love with sequential art. By that, it's there is an issue in here. The first issue is silent. They find Batman dead, and so it's basically okay. Well, who killed Batman? But then at the end of the first issue, there's another dead Batman. You just find that there's somebody who is dressing up people as Batman and killing them, or killing them and then dressing it up. So it's this big mystery. I love that first issue though. And the fact that the only word spoken, as you can see, there's the panel is a whole bunch of dead Batman in the at the morgue. In this case, there's a scene where Commissioner Gordon is at the morgue and he's looking at the body of Batman and he just says, "Get out." And this is when we get hints that Gordon knows who Batman is, because when he leaves the morgue, he knows that Batman's alive. So yeah, this really good story. It's one of the lesser known, very underrated. How about you, Eric? Have you read this one?
I read it when it came out. I haven't read it a second time, so I just kind of vaguely familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in light of that, I'll just say good, because I mean I don't remember not liking it.
Okay, so we got 2 good, because that's where I would put that. How about you, Black Cat?
I would put it in average.
Average? Alrighty.
The first 2 issues were amazing, but it was a build up, and like Hush, when you find out who it was, you kind of get disappointed. Like, you think this is some really big villain or something like that, and then the reveal is kind of disappointing.
Okay. Venkman, have you read this one?
Put it on the list. I need to read.
Okay. All right. Now, Ahsoka saying Many Deaths of the Batman is a very good one. So amazing. All right. So that's S tier. Okay. So we've got 1 average, 2 good, and 1 awesome, or S tier. So
if we go by the art for the first issue alone, I would say good.
All right.
Like, because it was John Byrne doing the entire silent issue.
Yeah, it was really good. Okay, so Mud Pack, 604 through 607 of Detective Comics. It's a 4-part Batman story, focusing, of course, on all of the clay faces. Written by Alan Grant, illustrated by Norm Brayfogle. The Mud Pack is okay. Are we going to get I thought you were going to give me a first published notice. I thought they were going to give me a story synopsis. Oh, here we go. President Payne and the villain known as Clayface 3 escapes from Arkham Asylum after experiencing a seemingly psychotic episode. But unbeknown to Payne, his escape was part of a cleverly orchestrated plan by Basil Carlo, the original Clayface. Carlo wants to kill Batman, who doesn't? And feels he can achieve this goal by uniting all of the Clayfaces, working with Sandra Fuller, Lady Clayface. He captures Preston Payne and obtains the remains of Matt Hagen, Clayface 2. And let's see, I've got more. So basically all of them team up to fight the Mud Pack. I do also remember that it crosses over with the Secret Origins. Eric, do you remember anything of this one?
Not even a little bit.
The Secret Origins story actually starts this off, but you don't need to read it.
Yeah.
It is a good story. I would put it in good.
Okay.
It had great art. There was like Sandra. This is where they revealed that villains know that Jason died or Robin is gone because it had Sandra Fuller. Not Sandra Fuller. Is Sandra Fuller the evil lady Clayface?
Yeah, that's Lady Mudpack.
Yeah. So she transforms into Jason and is trying to trip Bruce up.
Right, that's the cover of one of the issues.
Yeah. And this is where they revealed that this had Looker from The Outsiders come and team up with Batman because Sandra used to pretend to be Looker and so had some of her memories or something like that.
Okay.
And
where would you put this?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in average because, yes, I've read it and I remember liking it, but I do not remember anything of this at all. I guess, Eric, where would you put it?
Since don't remember isn't a category, we'll go with good.
Okay. All righty. Let's see. Do we have anybody? Mudpack was good, says Ahsoka. All righty. And yeah, it looks like it goes there. We got a lot of stories in good.
Most of the 80s and late 80s, early 90s stuff are good.
Yeah. Well, I can honestly tell you, for me, the next 2, 3 are not going to be ending up in the good because we're talking about No Man's Land, and I don't believe we talked about Road to No Man's Land. Have we? There's Cataclysm, there's Road, and this is the actual No Man's Land. I'm just gonna put it there. I'm not even, you guys can talk. You guys can vote on it, but I'm using executive privilege.
Yeah, the vote would say S, and put the next 2 an S as well.
Okay, so we've got yeah. Look, here's the thing. I just put my arm in Twiddle's poop, so let me take care of this here. Come on, you dumbass bird! Why'd you do that? Well, I guess you.
It's the season for giving.
I know, right? Okay, so anywho, this is after the earthquake, after the virus, the whole 9 yards. America has decided that Gotham is a no man's land. No one in, no one out. It becomes a huge freaking turf war. This is a very long, very involved story, and every freaking bit of it is damn worth it. This, in my opinion, is the greatest of all Batman stories. You feel it. You feel it. Eric mentioned this about Cataclysm. I just read it, and he's right. Cataclysm makes you feel like you're in the moment. I thought No Man's Land does the same. And there's so many, in my opinion, iconic moments. I don't know if you can say, in my opinion, and iconic at the same time, but I love Huntress's story arc. I love everybody's story arc in this one. And it really kind of breaks down. We also get that what is iconic exchange between Gordon and Bruce Wayne as they talk about their friendship and their partnership over the time. To me, this is absolutely the best of Batman. Eric, what do you think?
I honestly like Cataclysm. Cataclysm is my favorite part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I said this is the best sweeping epic comics I think has ever done. I mean, it's not necessarily my favorite Batman story, but as far as like something that that is ambitious as it was, it's never going to be topped.
No,
I mean, it is an absolute S tier book, story. I mean, and yeah, I said everybody. Like I said, I'm looking at those 4 books up there. Say No Man's Land that come after the other 3. I need to dive into those again at least one more time.
I'm reading Cataclysm and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going.
That's what I told myself, but man, I get distracted easy. I'm worse than Homer Simpson.
It is so freaking good. We've got I'm good with S from Jay, and we've got it's an easy S from Ahsoka. And Paolo says, I've read No Man's Land as a novelization. It actually holds up even better. Greg Rucka fixed any inconsistency with the adaptation. How about you, Venkman? Have you read this one?
Yeah, right all the way through. One of the memories that the story that always sticks out to me is Arkham with the Joker and the new guard, and how they just take turns trying to scare him.
That is Road to No Man's Land.
Oh, so is that Road to No Man's Land? Damn it! But there's so many stories in No Man's Land. I always get confused which order they come in.
Well, it is Cataclysm and then Road to No Man's Land and No Man's Land, and we already have Cataclysm and Road to No Man's in here. So this is flat out the main meat and potatoes story. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they turned Cataclysm Aftershock into No Man's Land book, Road to No Man's Land book 1 or something like that. So
yeah,
you do get confused.
Right, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
But overall, though, as I said, there's so many, all the writers, the artists come together. So I guess sometimes the art for certain writers didn't really work for me, but the overall story, I mean, you had Greg Rucka's part in here too. And Greg Rucka wasn't like, hey, look, lesbians. It was like
lesbian homeless people. Yeah.
Yeah, Greg Rucka doesn't do that until he gets to Gotham Central.
But overall, all the way through this, even the introducing, I think it was Road. I think it was Road that actually reintroduced to Melina Bertinelli, putting on the bat.
No, that was No Man's Land issue 0. That was the first story.
Oh, was that 0? Okay.
Yeah.
I always get confused if that's in Road or not.
That is the first storyline in this No Man's Land.
Alrighty, obviously S tier, but we're going to go to one where I know at least 2 people here are going to say S tier. I'm going to let you start us off there, Eric, with Strange Apparitions.
All right.
Apparitions.
Basically, this takes place over 6 issues. Steve Englehart, Marshall Rogers, and in those 6 issues, we're reintroduced to Hugo Strange, his giants. We get we get the Joker, the Penguin, and Boss Rupert Thorne bidding on Batman's secret identity.
Silver St. Cloud too.
Yeah. We get Silver St. Cloud. We get the supposed death of Hugo Strange. We get the reintroduction to Deadshot, and we get one of the greatest Joker stories of all time. Now, these are 6 17-page issues, and they tell more stories with whatever 6 times 17 is than most people can do in a lifetime. It's as good as Batman gets.
These are the only Englehart books, right?
No, he wrote 469 and 470, but Walt Simonson was the artist, but Walt Simonson wasn't Walt Simonson yet. And I think I can't remember, he had like a Jack Abel type inker that just wrecked it. But this was Rogers and Terry Austin.
That's what Terry Austin and Rogers.
God, that's almost as good as Byrne and Austin.
It's S tier, bro. Wonderful story.
Breen is.
How about you, Black Cat?
I would put it in S tier, of course.
Okay.
The laughing fish alone. Like
the whole
how iconic that is.
The whole fight scene was great.
How Silver finds out who Bruce is, like just by seeing his face.
Probably the greatest of Bruce Wayne's love stories.
Yes.
Yeah, in freaking incredible. I put it on. So we got 4 S tiers, and Ahsoka saying it's average. So
we kick Ahsoka out.
But 4-1. It's
clean out your locker. You're through.
The whole thing was Strange, realizing that once he finds out Batman's secret, he does not give it up because he realizes, what this guy goes through. He has admiration for Bruce.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, we have the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul.
Or Raz, whatever you prefer.
Tales of the Demon. All right, I know this is a story you really enjoy, Venkman, so if you want to start us off and talk about it, go run on ahead.
Just from the minute he meets, what's his name? Ra's al Ghul, and he shows up and he's in the Batcave and stuff, you know, and he's like, oh, as you know, my daughter's been kidnapped, and he's gotta go with Ubu, and all the way through like the different things, and like go to, I forgot what the country is, but like Batman gets attacked by the cheetah, like in there, and just like Neil Adams' art through this is just great too. Like I said, we get that there's a classic scene where they're climbing up the mountain, and Batman, you know, purposely lets himself fall. And then, you know, as the guy is basically looking for Batman, the armed guard, he just rises out of the snow and just grabs him. It's like, it was like, oh my gosh. And I feel like every movie's written to like kind of like copying that move ever since. Great story. Just wish that they couldn't get Robin pants. It's winter.
He got kidnapped. He gets to wear what he was wearing.
Alrighty, Eric, you want to add anything?
Yeah, this is the story where Batman finally shook off the last vestiges of the 66 series.
Yeah.
Ra's al Ghul is his introduction, and from the first time you see him, you know this guy's gonna make it, and he does. You get a character who is alive for 3 panels that is still being used today, 50 years later, as Bruce's go-to disguise in Matches Malone.
Yep.
It starts in 232. Then there's the 3-parter, 242, 3 and 4, that culminates in the battle in the desert between Batman and Ra's, and a fluke, a freak accident almost kills Batman, but Talia saves him. But the only thing I said, and this is an S tier all the way. This is just a phenomenal story.
You also have Damien Dark, and then the romance between Bruce and Talia, and how like Talia is always being torn between her loyalty to her father and her love for Bruce, and that issue.
Yeah, the only thing that I kind of lament about that storyline was the Doctor. I think Harris Blaine, I think his name was, and the girl, the skier.
Yeah,
they were great characters, but I don't think they were ever used again.
Really? I thought your gripe was the fact he's holding a onesie.
The skier was just the one shot. I think the Doctor was used one more time.
Oh, was it? Molly Post, I think, was the skier's name.
The Doctor was used in, I think, the other story with Marv Wolfman, where Batman frames Bruce for murdering people.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I'm not 100% sure. I might be wrong.
And where would you put this one, Black Cat?
S.
Okie dokie.
Ling should have been used again too, because that was a really cool character. The guy he fought in 243.
Yeah. This one also has. I think this one also has the death of Kathy Kane, and also introduction to Batman versus Bronze Tiger, and then the Master or the Sensei.
As I said, one of the best characters ever created, and then even brought to more heights through the stories and through the animated series in the 90s. Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a pretty good couple of episodes there.
It was a loose adaptation of the story. It was great though.
We have S from the panel here, and then we also have from Jay Lucen and Paulo Costa. We got a good from Ahsoka, and so here we go. And we've got Loudness from the Bird. There you go. Next up, though, we have a book I've got. Once again, I've never read it, so you guys, if you have, tell me about it. It's called The Black Glove. I don't know this.
Not even a little bit.
It doesn't fit.
Wait, maybe I think I have. I think this is. I'm thinking Black Mirror, but
Black Mirror is the good one I read. Black Glove is, I think, Morrison.
Yeah, I did read this one a while back, but I remember nothing. I remember nothing. The Black Glove is a criminal organization apparently led by Dr. Simon Hurt, consisting mostly of rich men and women of villainous nature, such as the corrupt dictators and millionaires. Black Glove meets rarely, perhaps once a year, to bet on life and death struggles. I'm
Didn't
trying
they
to
adapt
find.
this? Didn't they adapt this in Gotham? The Black Glove.
They might have actually. I just don't.
And I remember that.
See if there's any covers. Yeah, this is the tail end of the run before New 52.
I remember
Black Glove was like. Is this with Dick Bats or Bruce Bats? Because I think this was before. This is around 600, the 600 early 600s.
Yeah, 674. I don't remember anything about this, so best I could do is average because I don't want to. Yeah. I read this one, but barely remember. Yeah, for that I've got to go average because I can't. I can't, in good conscience, put it above or below anything. It would be better.
Now I remember hearing for this book because I ever read the book, but I remember they brought it into Batwoman season 2.
Should we just say? Yeah, I guess average. Okay, so let's move on to the Court of Owls.
Just Court or Night? The entire saga. Court, Night, and there was the other one. City.
Well, let me see if I had the other ones. Do I have Night and all that? I guess it's the entire thing.
All right, so if it's the entire thing,
Court, Night, and City is all rolled up into one here, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing, I'm gonna put a caveat on this. This was the New 52.
Okay.
So, and this was set 10 years after Batman became Batman.
All righty.
Don't ask how he has a 10-year-old son with a woman that he met 2 years into his career as Batman. We do not try to do the mental math there.
Okay.
Leave Scott Snyder alone.
Yeah. So, with the weird math and everything aside, and some shenanigans that wouldn't make sense if it was pre-New 52, but because they're establishing a new universe, I would put it in S tier, mostly because of how the psychological damage the court was doing. There was a mystery with is he Bruce's brother? Is he not Bruce's brother with Lincoln Marsh? That issue, I think issue 5, where they're showing Bruce going crazy and the panels are just going sideways, flipping around. The panels are all disjointed to show Bruce's state of mind.
How about you, Eric? Oh, sorry.
And the other thing is Bruce is like, in this part, Bruce is like, I'm Batman. He is established as Batman. He is going against his enemy that he thought he could easily beat, and how he just got taken down a peg, how he was broken, and then like when he's about to die, he just sees that
Jay and Ahsoka are both saying S tier. You said S tier, Eric.
I've never been able to get past the fact that the secret society was operating under his nose his whole career.
That's why I said the caveat of this is the New 52 and this is reinventing everything.
Right.
Yeah, if with that, I'd say good. I don't know if I go quite S tier, but it was very good.
Venkman, did you ever read this?
No, so they've seen from voting on it, but I've never heard anybody talk crap about it.
Okay, well, as far as it's concerned, then we've got 3 S's, 1 good. It goes to S. Yeah, I've never heard a bad thing about it either. I'm trying to find. I've got book 2. I'm trying to find book 1.
I know. Well, 1 through 7 is the main story they have in the New 52 for Batman.
No, it's 1, 2, 6 is.
But they have like
Court of Owls, and then they have City of Owls, where the court just attacks. That is.
Yeah, there's other issues and other comic books, but 1 through 7 was like the thing they had in Batman introduced them.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we have to say we're going to talk about Batman Under the Red Hood. Who wants to start?
Somebody's got to get going so I can get my memory refreshed.
Okay, please.
All right, so this is after what was that thing called? War Games. So Bruce blew up Barbara blew up the clock tower, so they don't have their information hub where Oracle was relaying everything. So, and Bruce and Barbara have this fractured relationship. Stephanie has died, so Tim is a little out of it.
He's happy now. It's free.
Why? Yeah, as I say.
It was Tim all along. I killed her.
Megan Fitzmartin was reading those and writing her fan fictions, and that she would publish later on in DC Comics.
She puts herself in the character as Robin.
Yeah. This does not collect one of the Teen Titans issues, so I can't bring that up. But there was this good fight between Tim and Jason there. But overall, it was good. It was a decent build-up. We figured out who Red Hood is. Bruce is feeling guilty, and he knows it's Jason, but he is trying to find out how Jason can come back to the dead. So he's visiting Green Arrow, who came back from the dead. He's talking to Superman.
Yeah, it shocked me if I thought it was Jensen Ackles.
Okay, so I recently read the book. After I've got this right here, I was showing it off, and I love these books. By the way, I bought this at Blockbuster because not only does it comes with the book and it's got the movie. Yep. And so I watched the movie and I was like, you know what, I want to read the book, and I got to tell you, never do that, because the book kind of comes off as like a cliff notes to the movie. So when I was reading, I was better.
The movie is better.
The movie is better. But here's the thing: the story itself is still good. You're not a part of this. Twiddle's mad. Twiddle's mad. He loves this story. He's like, hey, it's under the hood. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna S tier this?
It's a bird with a red helmet. He's a bird with a red helmet, apparently.
I know. He's Red Hood himself. Look at this. Twiddle's mad?
He's a yellow bird wearing a red face. We need to cancel him.
Twiddle's not mad. Twiddle's needs affection. Yeah, there you go.
Jason got beaten by a crowbar. Most of the audience here wants to beat Twiddles with a crowbar. They have a lot in common.
Right.
We always knew you were called the Twiddler.
But the thing is separate the book from the movie, and I think this is awesome. Yeah. The only thing I don't like isn't in the book; it's what happens after. Never in a freaking million years does Jason do what he does here, and then gets back with the family.
Yep.
Again, New 52.
I know,
they
right?
reset everything, so you have to get that.
Jason should be in prison, and he should always be hunted. Jason should still be a villain, and so I'm going to agree with Ahsoka and Chrononaut, and put this in the S tier.
Have you been reading the Batman Beyond, the White Knights?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
All right.
They introduced Jason in there, and actually, it's I like that version a little bit better.
Yeah, but I gotta say though, if I go by how I felt after I watched the movie and then read the book, it really does feel like Cliff Notes.
All right, so let us know. Get rid of your ego and put us back on the tier list.
Oh, did I do that? Did I do that? Okay, here we go. Let's do this bit first, and then we'll do this bit right here. Thank you very much. Hey, I know I'm pretty. All right. So, anywho,
glad you know.
Right. Always count on your friends to lift you up. Okay. So next up,
here, we do this. So we can actually see that. There we go.
We lose our backs.
Oh, sorry, I can't do that. No, clapping means that he did something wrong. Did you notice he kind of stood to attention?
And he did poop before, so he needed.
He did. Yeah, you pooped on my arm. You deserve a clapping. Okay. All righty. Let me put this up here really quick for the next story in the chat. We're going to talk about Venom, and this is a story that takes place in the Legends of the Dark Knight. And in this one, we find out about the drug that, of course, makes Bane have all of his strength. And what happens in the very beginning is one of the one of the most powerful things that's ever happened in a Batman comic. Batman is trying to save this little girl, and he needs to lift a rock to get her out from under it so she doesn't drown, and he actually watches her drown. And that's why he goes searching for a way to make him stronger. And he finds Venom. And it's basically him dealing with the drug addiction and the effects. And yeah, it's a pretty darn good story. And that's where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it in good. I think, like I said, in my opinion, there are no bad stories as far as what am I doing? Here we go. I accidentally hit stop sharing. There it is. In the Legends of the Dark Knight series. Have you read this one, Mr. Venkman?
Oh, okay. He's muted at the moment.
Have you read this one, Mr. Black Cat?
Yep. I've been reading to Legends of the Dark Knight around since October. And this is one of my favorite Batman stories, with Bruce locking himself in the Batcave, going through those withdrawals, and Alfred just listening to how Bruce is there, along with the cult. This is one of Batman at his lowest.
Okay.
And then he goes to get his revenge. Alfred goes with him. Batman fights a shark in this, and that was good.
Does he get to use the bat shark repellent?
I was waiting for you to
Unfortunately, not.
Damn. I was going to give you that line.
He uses some fishermen as bait.
And where would you put this?
High good.
High good. All right. And Eric?
I'll give it a good. I said I don't remember nearly the detail that the two of you do, but I do remember it was good.
Well, Ahsoka's saying Venom deserves to be good, and Venom is a great addiction story, but not as great, says Jay Lucen. And obviously we agree, so we'll put it in good, and we'll move on to, I got to tell you guys, I didn't read this, but this is War Games, and it's going to go through the entirety of the situation. I'll let you hit it, because I have not read this story.
I'm going to go first if you don't mind.
Go right on ahead.
This event seemed to be more about DC punishing Chuck Dixon, because Stephanie is so out of character in this. You know, Leslie is so out of character in this. I mean, it's a good story, but there were things I said. Yeah, killing off Stephanie. I don't know. I said it to me. It just. I mean, I understand people die, but her mistakes basically start a gang war that kills hundreds of people. Which to me is worse than anything Jason Todd ever did. As far as like killing criminals, and so it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of tarnished Stephanie as a character.
Yeah, that's what I heard. A lot of people didn't like it and wasn't there something with Leslie Tompkins as well?
Yes. Stephanie is badly injured in this, and they later retconned it to her faking her death, but Leslie purposefully didn't treat Stephanie to send a message to not become a vigilante to other kids.
Breen. This is War Games. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was the detail I couldn't remember. Yeah, she basically let Stephanie die to prove a point. Like I said,
okay, so where would you put this?
I would put it on did not read. But I've seen many times at the comic book store.
The story and the plot, what happens, is a good story, but based on what we know. Because I didn't read, this was one of my first stories I read, so I had it higher. But when I got to know the characters, it is bad.
Okay, how about you, Eric?
You know what? I was leaning towards average, but I gotta go off Cat. Yeah, bad for the characterization.
Okay, and post Flashpoint, Stephanie Brown is Riri Williams of the DCU. Ooh, all right, Chrononaught says awful. Okay, not looking good for War Games.
Okay, how about I'll put the final nail on this coffin.
Yep.
This is one of Megan Fitzmartin's favorite books.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Do we have an Ahsoka or a Jay chime in, or?
You didn't put a nail in it. You lit it on fire, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. If not, we'll go right on ahead and put War Games into bad. And then the last story, the last one, is whatever happened to the Caped Crusader.
Drop it in. Didn't read it.
We're still learning today.
Didn't read it.
I know I read it, but I don't remember a freaking thing.
Best way I can say it, I don't know if they were kind of hoping they could catch lightning in a bottle twice, like whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow. Yeah. It didn't. I don't remember this.
It had the fun story where Harley Quinn tells Joker, "I can't believe Batman is dead," because this was after Batman died in Final Crisis, and Joker's like, "I can't believe he didn't die the first night he put on a bat costume and jumped from a roof."
Yeah, I can't remember it. So, like I said, either average or I don't read, didn't read. Why don't we just put in didn't read and move on?
There we go.
All right.
Valkos is average, not the same as Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. Has a couple of schmaltzy moments, I think.
All righty.
And Powell is saying he could barely remember it. It's not that great.
Okay, I'm just gonna put it in didn't read. No, nobody can comment on it. So there we go. Okay, kids. So here we have one bad, one awful, one bad. And then we've got how many average? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So here we go. I mean, if you guys want to, we can rank them. It's up to you guys.
You want to scroll it up a little bit on the right, on the here to the white chunk.
I don't. Oh, can't look.
You can't really.
I can't really see the percentage in ranking the average ones, or even the good ones. But I said I'd be curious to see ranking the S tier.
Yeah.
You want to go straight up to the S, and I'll figure the rest out myself, I guess. All righty. Let's go. Oh yeah. Well, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. S tier. So you want to do the S tiers alone?
How about if everybody puts their top 3?
But there's 2, 4, 6.
Well, yeah, 8, let's see how much difference there is amongst the people voting.
I like doing the whole list them. Death in the Maidens is a mini series, Jay. So miniseries deserve their own list. We're going to handle it a little bit different. I'm not putting every Batman miniseries into a list like this because there's about 1,000. But what we're going to do is we're going to come up with about 20 or 25 of them.
Yeah.
And
How about Batman Writers Tier List?
But here you go. Here's what to do. Here are the stories we've got in tier list. 3 of them are basically the same, but we have Road to No Man's Land. All righty. And then we've got Batman Year One. And then we've got Cataclysm. And then we have Death of the Family. And then we have No Man's Land. And then we have Strange Apparitions. And then we have Under the Red Hood. Tales of the Demon. Then we have City of Owls, the entire Court of Owls trilogy, or whatever you want to call it. We have Death in the Family. And then we have Nightfall. We have Batman Prey. Okay, to figure out what's the best of the best, There are how many? I said 12.
Yep.
Give me your top 6 in order, and we'll go by what makes the top 6. Guys in the chat, by all means, play along. You guys figure it out if you need the photos to remind you and such.
Can you share your list you wrote down? Because I always forget my pictures.
Okay, this is better.
Yeah, much better.
Can you see it a lot better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I should have been doing that, but I was trying to read comments as well.
That's okay. We can see them for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. But yeah, guys, look at it. And what is your top 6?
I can give you a top 3.
In descending order. So it'd be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll go over that. And what's going to happen is I'm just going to score everything. So that shall be it. All right. So yeah.
I'll let Eric go first. Age before beauty.
I'll take a shot.
Take 2.
Number 6, Road to No Man's Land.
Okay. How about you, Venkman? What's your number 6?
I always get confused. Road and Cataclysm. Is roads after or before the earthquake?
After.
After the Cataclysm is the
is that earthquake. Road is 1 is dealing with the after effects, and 2 is that dealing with this cult or something like that.
So road is after, right?
Yeah.
Earthquake with everybody coming to rescuing. Yeah. So, oof. Under the Red Hood.
Okay, you're number 6. How about you, Black Cat?
For my number 6, I'll go with Year One.
Which one?
Year One.
He's in Year One.
Year One.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. And let's see. Oh goodness. I am so indecisive.
I know. They're all good stories.
Hold on. Let me on mine. Let me. Oh, goodness. Hey, take comments and talk about something real quick.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna change mine. The Death of the Family.
Death of the family or death in?
Death of the Family.
Of the family.
Jay's number 6, Under the Red Hood.
All right.
Yeah. Ahsoka's got a 1 next to hers.
Death of the Family.
I think she was doing the opposite first. 1 or but yeah, her number 6 is
okay. I got Death of number 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what doesn't belong. Yeah.
One of these things is not like the others.
Yep, I've taken 3 off the list here.
Take note, Breen. These are our next retrospectives for the next 10 weeks. To steal all Batman.
I am.
If
I
it's
really
a retrospective, I might join in.
Well, we already did Strange Apparitions, which I said it's still a fun book.
Yeah.
Oh no! This is too hard.
Do you have the rawhide virus?
This is too hard here.
Oh no!
That's what Tim said.
My number 6 is what I thought was going to be my number 6 is my number 7. So let's see. Make sure I didn't write anything down here twice.
See, this is why we're not doing all 12.
This is why we're not doing all 6.
Okay, what do I? What did I not have?
Started with 12, so you could clear it out the bottoms first. That would have made more sense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, these 2 or these 2.
Yeah, we normally just.
I'm gonna go. My number 6 is Strange Apparitions. All right. So let's go to number 5. What would your number 5 be?
Jay Lucian, stop prematurely putting them up. We're doing one at a time.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your number 5 there, Black Cat?
Out of these, I would have to go with Nightfall.
Okay. Nightfall gets a point. All right. How about you, Venkman?
Nightfall is where he breaks his back, right?
Yep.
Okay. There's Nightfall, Nights, and there's just too many freaking nights.
There's a
It's
lot
the
of
Night
nights here.
trilogy.
Yeah. So I would have to go with him and say Nightfall.
Okay. How about you, Eric?
Tales of the Demon.
Okay, Tales of the Demon.
Breaking my heart here, guys.
I'm gonna agree with the guys, and my number 5 is Nightfall. How about in the chat? What do we got? Number 5 is
Prey.
Is which one? Prey.
Jay Lucian puts it on Prey.
All right.
Sokatano Gaming puts it on Cataclysm.
Cataclysm.
You Pray and Love by Batman. I did not know that was.
All righty, and let's see. Then we go to issue number 4. What would you pick as your number 4?
All right, Jay Lucian already put in Death in the Family.
Okay, I'll mark that down. How about you, Eric?
So I think I'm gonna go with Road to No Man's Land.
Road to
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was my number 6. No Man's Land itself.
No Man's Land hits number 4. All righty, and how about you, Venkman?
I'll have to do Court of Owls because I haven't read it. So moving it down.
Yeah, but what about things that you actually have read?
Whoa, okay, I thought.
Yeah, it's like, what's your 4th favorite?
I'm trying to remember the names because I see the pictures on some of them, but I don't recognize.
Okay,
them.
ask. Yeah, if you need to ask for the what's the name of the picture.
Well, all right, so what's the one with the burning building? Is that Prey?
That is Cataclysm. That's the earthquake one. Prey is the one on the very bottom end where Batman looks like he has a target on his chest, and Hugo Strange is looking over his shoulder.
Oh, wait, so we do have that on there. Okay. I can't because I look at the picture and I'm like, which one is that again? So yeah, I would go with Prey.
Alrighty, and so will I, as a matter of fact. All right.
I'll go with Cataclysm.
Soka said Road to No Man's Land, and you went with Cataclysm?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And Road to No Man's Land. Here we go. Alrighty, number 3, Black Cat. What you got?
Strange Apparitions.
Alrighty. Goes to Strange Apparitions. Okay, Eric?
Year 1.
Year 1 is number 3. Okay. And I'm going to agree with you for year 1. Venkman?
Tales of the Demon.
Tales of the Demon. All righty. And then we have Jay saying No Man's Land, as well as Ahsoka saying No Man's Land. All righty. And then let's see, we're all caught up there, and let's go to number 2. All righty, Eric.
Wait for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. My number 3 was I thought I mentioned it.
You said year 1, didn't you?
Year 1, yeah.
No,
number 2
was, you said we're going number 2, and I said we can wait.
Oh, you were making a joke. Okay. My number 2 is Cataclysm. How about you, Eric?
Ditto.
Okay. And Venkman?
Year 1.
Year 1. Okie dokie. And how about you, Black Cat?
Tales of the Demons.
Tales of the Demon. All right.
Not enough cats in there for you? They don't get killed?
Right. And let's see. On we got Ahsoka saying Death in the Family, and Jay is saying year 1. All righty. And Death in the Family is right here. All righty, guys. This is your moment of truth. What do you put at number 1? I'll start because it's no surprise, but to me, the number 1, as I said before, is No Man's Land. All righty. Black Cat, what you got?
It's a good thing I'm a cat because it is No Man's Land.
Okay. How about you, Venkman?
Cataclysm.
Cataclysm. And Eric?
Strange Apparitions.
Strange Apparitions. And in for Ahsoka, she says Under the Red Hood. All righty. And Jay says Nightfall. All right, we got a bit of a spreadsheet here. But what I was going to do was I was taking everybody's, hey guys, sorry I'm late for the votes. I tested positive for that this morning, giving me lots of anxiety. Haven't been sick in years and dodged it until now. Heart is beating way. Tested positive for COVID? Ah, you'll be fine. You're a young, strong guy, dude.
Yeah, you.
But if you're in New York, though, you're screwed.
Yeah, he can't go. He can't even go to his front door, right? I mean, it's like New York is just this side of China.
They went outside to shoot you.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Sucks to be you, dude. I'm sorry, but yeah, I hope you're feel better. If you want, really quick, MK, if you want to put in a vote in, we're picking the top 6 out of these out of the S tier, and we have Road to No Man's Land, Batman Year One, Cataclysm, Death of the Family, that's the New 52 story. Then we have No Man's Land, Strange Apparitions, Batman Under the Red Hood, Batman Tales of the Demon, the Court of Owls trilogy, Batman Death in the Family, Nightfall, and Batman Prey. If you want to give us your top 6, you're more than welcome to, and I'll do the math up to that point, as we're all just basically talking about what's awesome and what isn't. So by all means, take comments and what do you think? And what do you think of what we left off, what we shouldn't, or just anything's open?
I mean, I guess it depends on how often you read it and stuff, because my opinion will change on some of those books, the order and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was fine if you left the S tier like it was up there. You know,
what do you mean?
The order it was. You had
the order it was in.
Yeah, I was comfortable with that. But I mean, like, I guess I like books more when are more fresh in my memory. You know, but right now a lot of them are kind of like, oh, I remember that happened. Then we bring it up, like, oh yeah. But yeah, Strange Apparitions, like I said, is one of my favorites. But I mean, like, there's other, like, Cataclysm. I love that. You know, as much. I mean, I like it more than I like No Man's Land. No Man's Land was great. I won't deny it. But Cataclysm was fun.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm doing up some math here. Anyone know how long it takes to feel better? Anxiety plus LOL. I can get medicine from the doctor. Dude, the best thing to do, I do sometimes get panic attacks. Sit down, relax. Try not to think of the fact that it feels like you're having a heart attack. That's the main thing. It's unfortunately something you ride out. If it gets too bad, go to the doctor, though.
I would say just calm yourself by watching the new episode of Willow. And then you realize that there are worse things that are off that's happening than what you're dealing with.
Okay. All right. By all means, guys, what conversation can you have about anything geeky?
Anything geeky. All right. Well, I haven't watched the episode well, but I did like the first 2 episodes. That was decent. Sad that Val Kilmer is no medical, I guess, ability, you know, or I guess state where he can actually do acting as much anymore. But then again, I also wondered too. It's like, would they even allow his character even to be in the show? I mean, I wonder how much of his political alignment is different from the Disney way now.
The new Suicide Squad game is going to be Kevin Conroy's last performance.
The other thing was that you're talking about Wonder Woman 3, how it supposedly is shut down. Yeah. Apparently, I guess the rumor is that he told her to rewrite the script, and she said, "Screw you! I'm not gonna do it." And she pointed to like the a Wikipedia of the character of how, you know, of a story arc she wanted to do. The second one was kind of weird. The first one was great, but if she was trying to keep, my biggest complaint on the hair though, if she was trying to keep it to like a specific lore, she changed all that with the first one.
Well, it seems weird because it seems like if she just did the same story, but maybe took some notes,
right?
I don't know. That seems a little bit weird there.
So, so my thing is, if she's stepping down, get someone else to write the actual story. We don't need her. We could still have a great Gal Gadot Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, no. When they did that, they realized that this is going nowhere, so they're going to start fresh, get rid of everyone.
I wouldn't just get rid of everyone. I would just start a whole new thing, but you can keep the same actors, though. It's not going to ruin anything. Now, unless
it seems weird that they're doing that to me. I mean, why would you get rid of a good thing?
And they're keeping Cavill for a
new. Not. They may not, because the rumor is that might be canceled.
Well, Cavill wouldn't have left his show.
Yeah, like
they there, if, I guarantee he's signed on.
If he does, if they don't use him, I bet you there's a lawsuit coming.
Oh,
there might be, or they might give him some other role. But what the current rumor is, it's going to be a complete fresh set, fresh.
Yeah, Ahsoka. That was my big complaint too. They never should have killed off Steve Trevor. If that was their intention to try and bring him back because you're effed up, you never should have, or you should have had him be time displaced. Pull Captain America. I don't give a shit. Give him an immortal or some kind of serum, whatever. Like, you don't have to be exactly like the comic books, but like if you never should have killed off the character if you can't do anything without the character.
Yeah, I agree with that. It seems like that was a bit of a mess up.
Like I said, when I read about people, it's like, sometimes they got to change things. Like I was reading that article yesterday. I posted in a group about the Bendis Secret Wars that came out in 2015 or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. The guy saying, it's a good thing that they're resending this, because you can only tell so many interesting stories with Peter being married. If you can't even do that with him married, you're fired. I'll get someone else who actually can write it. It's called being.
That's why DC created the Omniverse, because the writers didn't want to stay. The writers right now have egos. They don't want to stay in canon. They don't want to do the research. They have a story. They want to tell the story. They don't care about the lore, the characters' personalities, or anything like that.
Excuse, it's too hard to do it. I can't do that. All right, I'll get someone else. See you later. It's like, come on. It's how many years that they had Peter Parker's story going on? They had multiple writers. You tell me that these guys, I can't do this. Well, you're gone. See you. I'll get someone who can. It's just, I'm just tired of the catering to the writers.
All righty, I did the math. I'm all done here. Sorry for taking all the time there, guys. It was last minute. Hey, let's do this. So we all voted for our top 6, and what I did was I lined it up, and I got like if you gave it in your 6, you get 1 point. 5, 2, 3, 4 is 3, 3 is 4, blah blah blah, up to 1, which is 6 points. And these are the points, and this is the order that we have decided the top 12 would be in number of the S tier list. Number 12 with 0 points was Court of Owls. Nobody voted for that in their top 6. Number 11 with 4 points and tied with number 10, Death of a Family. And then number 10 with the same amount of points, Road to No Man's Land. With 5 points at number 9, we have Death in the Family. At number 8 with 8 points, Batman Prey. And then tied with that at 8 points was Under the Red Hood at number 7. At number 6 with 9 points, Strange Apparitions. At number 5 with 11 points, Tales of the Demon. Number 4 with 12 points, Nightfall. And then we have at number 3 with 19 points. So it's a bit of a jump from the 12 to the 19. And that is Batman Year One, one of the most iconic stories of all time. And then at number 2 with 21 points, we have Batman Cataclysm. And then with 23 points, Batman No Man's Land is the number 1 of our tier list stories of the greatest Batman stories of all time.
As it should be.
Say again.
As it should be.
It should be. Yeah, it's good stuff here. I kind of like doing it that way, where we're
so
just
close, guys. Almost got Cataclysm as number 1.
Cataclysm was number 2. Yeah, by 3 points it would have taken it. And yeah,
Cataclysm was a shorter story. No Man's Land was like 80 issues, so a lot more happened.
I know, but I just love those shorter stories. Like, was more leading up to it.
Superman coming to help, and then Batman saying like, "No, this has to be Gotham done in itself." And then Superman's like, "Yeah, okay. If Superman can't help, Clark Kent will." And then he's helping people grow food there. There was the Mr. Freeze Ratcatcher thing in the sewer. There was Nightwing taking out saving the prisoners that were being held hostage by Lockdown.
Yep.
There was the introduction to Cassandra Cain. There was the entire Huntress arc in that, Helena Bernelli arc. There was the last ending where Sarah Essen is killed off by the Joker, and Jim is going like trying to control himself, and then shoots the Joker in the kneecaps the Joker, and then Joker going, "I'll never be able to walk again," and it's like, oh, just like ha ha ha.
So our next more challenging tier list should be Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we'll have to read some books before we do that one. I don't think everybody's as familiar with the stories. Superman tier list in the future. If once again, I think what we'll do when we come up with these, in order to stop having these 19-hour long tier lists, we'll probably come up with a list of the best, like the top 20 or something like that, or top, we did about that many tonight, right?
I would do for Superman, do post-crisis to the whole entire area like that, or we can do pre-crisis.
Well, there is at least one pre-crisis story that we would want to get into, and it has some of the greatest covers of all time. But what were you about to say, Eric?
Nevermore?
No, were you talking about Kryptonite Nevermore?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I said drink, because when Venkman says post-crisis Superman, that's
gotcha.
And I know, and Kat, if they ever have a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Batman edition, you, sir, are my lifeline.
I know, right?
No doubt.
I like to call my friend. Is he in the country? No.
And then they'll have a microphone on his answer. He goes, "What? He hasn't kicked off yet?"
And by the way, Asaka is saying, I mentioned the DC animated movie. Next time, though, I don't know. I don't know when we'll do another one. But I'll work on that. I do want to see everything. I mean, it's right there on HBO Max, which, by the way, is really becoming my favorite streaming service.
I mean, the Max.
Yeah, HBO Max has all the DC stuff on it. It's awesome. So I like that. I like that better than Disney, which has all the Marvel stuff as well as all the classic Disney movies.
Did they scrap that Green Lantern show?
Did they take it off? No.
No. There was a new one. Everybody going to make. Remember?
Yeah, they scrapped everything.
They canceled it. They thought it might be Jon Stewart-centered one, but this week they're going to decide what to do. And like this weekend, they're going to decide whether to scrape everything, like just restart the entire DCU.
What I'd do is I would just scrap everything, but keep the actors and just work on building a continuity from that.
Yeah, they might not even do the actors because we might know it's a different thing, but the general audience, the normies won't, and that is what's hurting a lot of the movies right now.
I don't know. Like I said, they introduced the JSA in there. There was rumors about doing a Hawkman solo thing, but I just want a full JSA. The fact they had Dr. Fate played by Pierce Brosnan sold it for me. Just give me more of him as Dr. Fate.
this is the stuff they have on HBO Max. So yeah, I'm good, man. Say again.
Didn't care for the Gotham Knights movie. The animated something.
The Gotham Knights. Yeah, it was all right.
It was like multiple different stories. Because I was so like, oh, it's gonna be one thing. No, what is this? Hey, look, Batwoman's on there. Now you can watch it with Gail.
Yeah, Super Pets was fun.
There's the real Constantine.
Shut up. And the real Green Lantern. Yes.
I finally watched that. Obviously, the stuff with the white lines, the things that I've seen, or it's the things I need to snort. I don't know. I'm from Florida. It confuses me.
JLA Trapped in Time was pretty good.
Yeah. By the way, I'm also trying to catch up on the Lego movies, which are awesome. So far, they're just so much fun. But yeah, there's so much DC. Oh, this is a brand new documentary as well here. About Milestone.
Is it extremely racist?
I have no idea. I haven't watched it.
John Ridley narrates.
As you can see, there's a lot of really cool things here, guys. Let's watch Wonder Woman together. All right, start up on the pilot. Okay, how to get your stream shut down for copyright in 5, 4, 3.
And his
2.
channel's gone. He doesn't need a channel.
Yeah,
he's good. He's got like 6 of them.
Hey, if Ash can do whatever he does without it, fucking easy.
Yeah.
No, but as you see, there's a lot of cool stuff on HBO Max.
Did someone say
racist? Zach, did someone say racist? I'm here.
I gotta admit that I'm a little disappointed how.
Oh, I see. I know. Hey, yesterday picked up from Beyond the Unknown issues 2 through 13 in very fine condition for $36. Wow, awesome. It is good when you can find a deal. Let's say off to bed. Good night, everybody. Have a good day.
Night, Paulo.
Paulo. Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind doing a couple of watch parties again. Those were fun when we did those. Hey, did anyone talk about the Batman Beyond movie supposedly being worked on, or is that just a rumor? At this point, at this point, James Gunn put out a tweet saying nobody knows what's happening except for him and his partner. So anything that you're hearing is rumor, and take it as such until it's been confirmed by them.
Yeah.
So
I remember them saying that, James Gunn saying that, and it's funny. There's still sources say that that so and so was canceled because of this. But I was like, unless James Gunn says that Wonder Woman 3 is canceled, I'm still on. They'll just have a different director. Anybody check out the Marvel, I guess, Phase 5 and 6 now? That was gonna release that like what?
Yeah, there's rumors that they're worried about things, so maybe or maybe not. We'll see.
Fantastic Four was supposed to be announced, and then Kang Dynasty and all that stuff. So I was like, I saw that they're gonna keep Kang in his actual comic book costume.
That'd be nice. I would like to see him in that little fishbowl helmet.
Yeah. So it looks kind of cool.
I just can't generate any excitement.
Yeah.
Well, you're getting old. It's hard to.
They have a sell for that.
We love you, Eric.
Yeah, it's like tooth decay. Oh no, that's how I love you. No, it's I don't know. I guess I'm still guess I said 10 great years. If anything catches my eye past that, I guess that's a bonus. But
yeah, it's a bonus that you have your vision.
No, I haven't had that since I was 6.
Let's see, 9 p.m. here in the big dude. You want to freaking phrase that? I'm just saying. Jay Leeson saying 9 p.m. here in the big D.
Is he saying Detroit?
I hope so.
Well,
I've got questions. How did you get inside it?
At least it didn't say on.
Yeah. Damn.
Guardians 3, it looks really good.
Well, I didn't know that was a white shirt.
Right. I mean, there didn't need to be a phase force as a Sokka. I don't mind them coming up, but that is okay. That's a feather. Woo.
Oh.
All right. No, I don't mind there being continuing the story. They've got a lot of characters to talk about. I'll tell you what, and I've said this before about the whole bullshit MCU thing.
What's the other one?
Catchy phrase. But if nobody cares about getting a She-Hulk TV show. We want a She-Hulk TV show. We want Ms. Marvel. We want Captain Marvel. We want all of this stuff as geeks. And if it was well written, we'd be singing a different tune. Nobody's actually pissed off that they made a Black Widow movie.
One exception. I don't think anybody wanted a Captain Marvel. We would have liked Carol Danvers' Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
We weren't going to get that.
Yeah, okay. But the point being is if it was written better, we would be singing different tunes.
Yeah, that's the problem is with the antagonistic nature of the us versus them.
Mm-hmm.
And them controls the narrative.
Yeah.
Because they can say whatever they want. They can feed us garbage and then tell us it's our fault for not liking it.
So I'm sorry, Ahsoka, I cannot and I will not agree with you on this. Because I've said this before, and I said this a long time ago, and I'll keep repeating it. I'm 53 freaking years old. Before we started getting decent superhero movies, I've sat through hundreds, if not thousands, of romantic comedies telling the same story, of the buddy cop films, of the thriller. Oh my gosh, who could it be? Well, let's look at the cast. You know, I've seen every freaking kind of movie. So finally they're making fucking comic book movies the way they're doing every other freaking thing. And I'm supposed to be all pissed off because they wrote a few bad ones. They did Caddyshack. Fucking awesome. It's a great comedy. But you know what? They also did Caddyshack fucking too. So I'm supposed to bury the comedy genre? Nobody, and I mean no fucking buddy ever talks about any other fucking genre of movie except for comic book movies like this, like superhero movies. Oh my God, you didn't fucking like She-Hulk, so you want to throw away the whole fucking genre? I'm sorry, no. I cannot and will not get behind that fucking point of view. It is, I don't even understand how anyone comes up with this point of view. Oh my gosh, okay, Gary, talking to you direct. MCU, fucking brilliant. But you know what? By saying it in a negative turn, your entire message sounds like you hate fucking women. Okay? That is just plain fact right there. You care because the writing was bad. If they did all this and they actually fucking wrote and they seemed like they actually wanted to make good stuff, and we know She-Hulk was made out of pure fucking hatred, and that's what pisses me off about that we've got people in control of our comic book movies now that goddamn hate what they're doing. And they hate us for keeping all this shit going. I'm sorry, but I remember having to fight because I like comics and I like D&D. Well, my game was Champions. I like the superhero genre. D&D was fun. I like Champions and the hero system and so forth. But I had to fucking fight to keep this shit going. And I'm not alone. There was a lot of us. There was a lot of us fucking nerds that kept this shit popular enough for you guys to wake the fucking hell up and start maybe appreciating what we've kept going. And now they want to say that we're not fucking good enough for it. Fuck them. But not fuck the superhero genre in movies. Not fuck the comic book genre. No, you don't do it with any other goddamn genre of movie ever. So let's cut that shit with the comic books. Let's cut that shit with the comic book genre, with the superhero genre, because we're the ones that are supposed to keep this shit together. Oh, I don't fucking think that they should ever make another comic book movie because, oh, by God, by golly, they made a couple of bad ones. List the names of every fucking bad action film. They aren't all Die Hard. As a matter of fact, not all the Die Hards are fucking Die Hard. This is the only genre, and we hear it with every fucking release, too. Every fucking movie release. Oh, are we tired of the superhero genre yet? Fuck you, no! Hell no. Because I'm telling you right now, I've had to sit through so many goddamn movies. And by the way, I was a projectionist. I had to sit through so many movies. If you haven't seen frickin' the Olsen twins and It Takes Fucking Two, then don't complain to me that Captain Marvel was a bad fucking movie. I'm sorry. Holy shit.
Wait a minute.
Wait, Zach.
Bad example.
Zach, why are you putting your hand in the air? Why are you saluting this?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that, but it's true. Every freaking movie, every freaking time they put out them, are you tired of the superhero genre yet? Jesus freaking Christ. True Grit gets made. Nobody says, wow, you done with Westerns? What is it? Gone Girl comes out. Nobody said, are you tired of the psychological thriller? Nobody ever does that.
Well, the reason they do it,
one genre.
The reason
one
Gary
fucking genre. That's it.
I think one of the major reasons Gary does is because when it's popular to virtue signal about that is their, and yes, that is their own virtue signaling. Whenever a movie comes out, oh yeah, this movie's gonna suck. You know, because
that's bullshit too. I'm sorry. Look,
so when you say you hate virtue signaling, but then you do it yourself.
And yes, Maranya, you're right. I did actually sit through as a projectionist. I had to watch the movies and make sure that they were put together right. My own damn fault. I put movies together wrong, and they were like, okay, now we need to watch them beforehand. But she's saying Englity sat through the Captain America movie with Red Baron and the stripes on the costume, which were right to his dick. They made a costume that basically was a Captain America costume with an arrow pointing at his dick. We've had bad movies. We had bad superhero movies. Since,
I like Frisbee Shield though. It was cool.
Not to interrupt here, but what time is it in Montana right now? One of you guys that's geographically, is that 8 o'clock, VENKMAN?
Well, I'm 9 o'clock Central, so it's got to be my own time, right?
Right, but I mean, is it 2 hours behind?
It's 1 hour behind because
an hour behind you.
An hour behind me.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Whose bright idea was it to schedule a football game in Montana at night in December? It's cold as coming out of my goddamn television set, and there's no snow in the field.
And you see the scene coming
Jay is saying, by the way, on a better note or happier note. Oh, but don't pay attention. I go off on rants. I just go off on rants sometimes, and I mean every word I said.
Hey, the guy is triggered easily, okay?
Yeah, but don't take anything personal either, because I hear something and it just pops, and
take it personal and yell at him in the super chat.
There you go, yell at. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we talked about Batman stories for almost 2 hours and had about 6 people. He goes on one of his rants, and we're in double figures.
Is that funny?
I know, right? I know. Somebody.
I mean, now, okay, we got people here that are rooting for the aneurysm, but that's cool.
Okay. By the way, here you go. You heard my rant. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about it? Is it me, or is there any other genre that we hear? Are you tired of this yet?
No, I don't think so. Now, there's 2 reasons for this. Obviously, it's the 24/7 52 blah 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 cycle that everything gets micro dissected, whatever the hell. If there'd been social media around, we probably would have gotten the same thing with Westerns when they died out. And I mean, because honestly, after the 60s, they were only being made in Italy. But now there are certain genres that are never going to go away. I mean, like I said, the romantic comedy, the drama, the thriller, the action movie. But superhero movies is something. I don't think those are ever going to go away either, because what else brings bank anymore?
I know, right?
Not much.
Here's the thing, and I think that this is part of the problem. They do bring bank, as you say, and so they're the ones that get talked about box office. They're the ones that have the biggest what do you call it? Marketing. So you see their commercials far more than, and sometimes they start, oh, we're going to have a teaser a year and a half before the movie's even done. I do believe at one point, didn't we get a teaser for Batgirl? Or did I see somebody's fake one? I don't know, but you see little pieces put together. Sometimes you don't even get the goddamn movie. But it's the thing is, if you actually look, Warner Brothers will put out a couple of romantic comedies. They'll put out a couple of cop films. They'll put out a drama, whatever. And then you've got Universal, who will put out a couple of cock movies. They'll put out a couple of cop movies. They'll put out some romantic comedies. And then, of course, you've got Disney, who will put out a cop film, and they'll put out a comedy. And, of course, they're animated. Point being is, if you count all the genres and each studio putting out their movies, they're not putting out as many as Marvel. Marvel, as I've said many times, is not a franchise. It is a studio. You can read it in Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios used to be teamed up with Paramount, and then they got bought by Disney. But they were still a studio. So Marvel Studios putting out 4 movies a year may seem like a lot, but it's not. That's one thing I've said for a while since Ant-Man, I think, or Winter Soldier, where it was they need to start putting these heroes in different genres of movie. Not if it doesn't fit. Obviously, you know, Ant-Man in a horror film might not be as good as, you know, say Moon Knight in a horror film, but they need to start doing different genres. I think one of the worst things that has happened is the homogenization. I get that you want it to be in the same universe, but at a certain point, they started making all of the movies look the same. Go back and watch the first 4. They looked different from each other. And then, of course, they came together in the Avengers. But at a certain point, they just sort of homogenized it. And they need to start doing the heist film and the horror film and so forth and so on.
Yeah, I noticed that we've become like more of the whiny, I guess. People complain about millennials, but I hear more Gen Xers complain about things they don't like. Just Zoomers too now. Is it because everyone's parroting each other? Because it's become a fad now to hate on something.
Yeah, well, sometimes
unfortunately for those who actually legitimately have a reason why they don't like a movie, it's the ones that are like, yeah, I don't like it too. Yeah, like it's become the cult mentality. But the other problem is that there's also so on both sides you got the shills and you got the ones who just hate it because they realize they can make money off it. Like I said, the honest person is gonna like this and then hate this. They're not gonna hate. Because after a while, it gets to the point. It's like, are you really just don't like anything? You just hate everything?
Well, there obviously we know that there is money to be made in negative reviews. Sure, of course. You're gonna get if you put on a thumbnail and you put I hate this, I love this, the hate is going to get more. But almost because you get the story right away in something that says I love this. Okay, you liked it, I should go watch it. You don't need to watch that video anymore. You know they liked it, go watch it. Occasionally somebody will still watch, but you can't say you loved it in the thumbnail. But the hate one's gonna go. It gets more clicks. It really does. And the rage kind of thing, it is addictive. You really want to, okay, well, I'm raged out by this. Why are you raged out by this?
Well, that's the thing with social media. Social media really gave birth to a lot the smaller fandoms that were kind of the silent majority, but now there's like huge online just fandoms for anything. And it's like, because I guess I don't know. I feel like most people have basically, if they weren't online social media, they probably would just be like, okay, movie, they move on. They wouldn't just sit there and watch somebody complain about, it's like watching Siskel Ebert. Actually, Siskel Ebert is, I hate this, and then like everyone in social media, Siskel Ebert like the biggest bunch of people that they'd basically be popular back in the day. Imagine if Siskel Ebert had social media at their fingertips.
Hey, remember when Siskel died and the Onion published a headline that said Ebert wins?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying, it's just like we have all these online critics. I've always been the point where I don't listen to what people say about movies. I just go watch it. To me, it's much more entertaining that way because nothing's spoiled for me. I go in there and I have an honest opinion what I like and what I don't like. Because there's always gonna be someone who's gonna say, you know what, this movie sucks. Look at all the people that said Napoleon Dynamite was great. Holy shit, you guys are on drugs.
No, that's
society.
That's this segment of it. Remember everybody said how badly Captain Marvel was going to bomb, but it was between two Avengers movies. The 90% of the country that has no idea that we're fighting this battle went out and brought it. Allegedly made $1 billion. But I was thinking about something. You were talking about it. Said, there is a genre we might have seen the death of due to today's sensibilities. Where are the cop movies?
Cop movies, yeah, they're not going to be made for a little bit.
I think you were right the first time when you said Warner Brothers made a couple cock movies.
Cock movies.
Yeah, you're right though.
Well, there are because of the snowflakes. There probably won't be a lot of raunchy comedies either.
Yeah, that's true.
Jackie Chan did hint there is going to be Rush Hour 4, but he's been hinting that since the 2000s.
But that's a like a balls out comedy. I'm talking like the cop drama. I think is dead at the moment.
Oh yeah, trying to remember the last Wheel in the Night. That's the last I can remember of cop drama.
Now, part of it is because De Niro and Pacino are too old to make them.
That too. Mel Gibson and what's the other guy who played Murtaugh?
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover. They're not going to do another Lethal Weapon.
God, I'm really surprised that they didn't dust them off for a fifth one. I really am. It won't happen now.
But that's the thing though. It's like the people who we want to watch are aging out on again.
Well, whoever was it said, there aren't movie stars anymore. Like I said, Chris Evans isn't a star. Captain America is. There's some validity to that.
Yep.
I mean, there's really outside of Tom Cruise in Night and Day proved that even he's not perfect. Although I like that movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, there is. It is a good movie actually. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's really nobody you can. There was a time when if you put starring Cary Grant, you had a hit.
Yeah,
starring Humphrey Bogart, you had a hit.
Top Gun 2. Did that?
And who was the star of that?
And it proved that you can do movies that are patriotic and still get people to watch them.
But it also helped that the most bankable star that we have left is the star of the movie.
Yep.
He's the closest thing we have to a movie star in 2022.
I want Ghost Rider 3 with Nicolas Cage. Make it happen.
You are the master of the segue, by the way.
I am. I'm the one that's still alive. The other guy's dead.
But I'm thinking
you hear about the owner of the Segway? He drove off a cliff.
It really is. Like I said, I mean, and people that look like movie stars, George Clooney looks like a movie star, but he's not automatic. I thought John Hamm would be a leading man at this point, but he's not.
Yeah, I know LK left a message in our do not back up on my shoulder, and no, do not poop on my shoulder.
I think you already have a hole in your shirt as it is.
Say again?
I think you already have a hole in your shirt. I saw something on the side.
Sometimes he hasn't been picking at the shirt, but I do have some shirts that have holes in because he'll land and he'll go pick, and it'll just almost damn near instantly appear. What's up? You okay?
He's not okay.
All right.
Nothing's okay.
Good. He's good, but sometimes when he backs up like that, he's about to let go. Chris Pratt is still a star. Dwayne Johnson. I get what you're saying, though. I like Chrononaught's idea of a Porky-style MCU movie. And what team would you do it on? What team would you play that? But the thing is, you can do that. Look, okay. New Mutants tried to do the horror. If they tightened it up or rewrote the script one or two more times, they could have had a decent scary movie on their hands.
But I want to mention, okay, I'm going to take the two that were just mentioned. Chris Pratt made a movie with the woman that invented the action genre, Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
And it bombed. What do you think would happen if Dwayne Johnson was in not playing a derivative of The Rock, but like in a straight drama or romantic comedy? Do you think it opens huge? I'm not sure.
Well, Sam's just being straight action, but not playing The Rock in the action.
That's what you put him in an action vehicle. Yes, it's going to do well.
Skyscraper, did it do well?
No, Skyscraper was not successful.
Because everybody said it was basically Die Hard with handicap.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying there really aren't automatics, but then again, there's so much more competition for your time and entertainment dollar than there was in the studio system in Hollywood.
I agree with Rhaegar. Actually, wow.
I like Passengers as well. Yeah. The one though, if we're talking Chris Pratt movies, I don't know if it's Chris Pratt movie because it's an ensemble, but I like the Magnificent Seven remake.
Well, Chris Pratt proved in Terminal List he could play a serious actor.
That was pretty darn good.
I was watching. I'm like, this is Chris Pratt. No, it's not. It's Chris Pratt though. It looks like him. It's not, because he doesn't act anything like, he's no goofy self. It's nothing like you see in any of the Guardians or any of the Marvel movies or even his TV show he was on. It's a very serious, just a guy who straight up will murder you. Like little sense. It was great, and I would love to see him play more serious roles. I would love that. I mean, they were doing a show called Condor on Epix, originally on DirecTV. It was based on 3 Days of the Condor. And that was with, I believe it was with, I'm trying to remember what the guy's name is. But overall, it was a very serious show. It was an action show. I mean, we're getting shows like Jack Ryan. And I noticed that a lot of the action stuff is like those shows are going towards TV, and they're not going towards movies anymore. Like Jack Reacher. I don't know how I feel about that, because I still want the action movies. And I don't want it to be like, you know, the other guys, which was a comedy, and they actually had like the Rock and what's his name, Wesley Snipes, and I don't really like Snipes, but
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson. They jump off the roof and then they.
That was one of the funniest scenes. I watched that. I was like, I lost it. I was like, you could not console me. I laughed.
The other guy or something like that.
Yeah, because
when they're like, you think we could hit those bushes, and then they jump, and as they're falling, you see that there's no bushes.
And that's another thing, is
funny as hell.
I mean, they keep trying to bring back, you know, Aliens, the movies, like doing that stuff, you know, bringing sequels to that.
They got to get it out of Ridley Scott's hands. Holy crap. He's just been, it's sad that we have more bad Aliens movies than we do good. And I'm counted as somebody who actually liked number 4. I know a lot of people did not, but I did. And holy crap, this whole Prometheus thing was just a bomb. Ridley, just stop it.
Where is the serious action star? Because remember the movies like Specialist and all stuff with Stallone did? No, they don't see that type of film anymore.
No, they try, but everybody starts putting them down. There was a movie this year called The Gray Man that I had a lot of fun with, that everybody started, oh my gosh, that movie sucked. Really? Did I watch the same thing?
Ryan Gosling, right? On Netflix?
Yeah, it was fun. It was silly, stupid fun. It's like, oh my gosh, everybody's going off on this movie.
Yeah, I didn't like Red Notice as much. That was kind of a letdown. But
Red Notice was
Six Underground was better though. I like that.
Yeah, that was good. I like that one.
They were supposed to make it into another like a more series of movies, but I guess he's busy now.
Yeah.
But yeah, who is like who's right now is the current leading would be you could see in an action movie without making it all about comedy? Because that's the thing they do now. It's like Rush Hour has become Bad Boys. That's become their style of action movies now.
I'll tell you what. I think they missed the mark with Chris Evans. I think he could have been an action star, especially after he got into Captain America shape. But yeah, I guess he was figuring, okay, I'll go do the other things. He's a good actor. I think him. But and if you do not put 7 foot tall frickin' Chris Hemsworth in an action film, what the hell are you doing?
Boss Level. That was the other one with Frank Grillo, where you basically had Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, the one where it was it was the time loop, and Mel Gibson was the bad guy.
Yep.
Holy shit, that was cool. Yeah, I like that.
I watched it out of a fluke, and I just happened to be on Hulu. I'm like, what is this? And I watched it. I was like, this is low budget, but it's great though, because the guy pretty much he wants to end his life, but no matter how he tries. He's got these stupid little assassin guys who take him out, or he's like he can never win, and they bring in Michelle Yeoh, and she basically trains him, teaches him how to fight, and he's like, how much time do you got? Oh, I got quite a few time. So every day he goes in, and is like, hi, nice to meet you. Can you train me? It's like, and I gotta say that was actually pretty clever for taking an idea from Groundhog Day and incorporating it into like an action, adventure movie. So,
yeah, which also I like the Happy Death Days. Those are pretty good. What is wrong with you? My knee bumped the desk. You didn't have to panic.
Here's Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and then there was all these different movies that came out in the past 20 years. But it's like, as far as action, who would you say I want a serious action movie. So who would you cast? Because everyone else is getting old. Stallone is like 76.
I mentioned Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth did a movie called Extinction. I think it was, wasn't that it? Extraction.
Yeah.
Which I thought is exactly what you're talking about. That was an incredible action film. And by the end of it, they put him through the loop. Like when he's going and walking around and just freaking dead ass tired. I think if you're watching an action film and you feel as tired as the person that's on screen, it works. Yeah, Extraction worked for me.
You need to work out.
I mean, Maranya is saying is that they see him as toxic masculinity, so the studios who want to appeal to Twitter idiots won't produce them. Right. But if they did, though, is there anybody really you can see other than Chris Hemsworth right now? I mean, that's obvious choice, but anyone.
Well, Chris Pratt,
the guy from Reacher.
Yeah, the guy from Reacher could do it. Chris Pratt just proved it with the TV show that he could be action.
Would people care though? Because I mean, especially the guy who played Alan Hutchinson. You know, I think that's what his name is, last name, or something like that. Alan Rickson. He came out and was he came out as a huge leftist on Instagram.
Yeah, holy shit! Did he ever?
So would people? He could do a legitimately good movie, but would people even go see it then because he opens his mouth?
Yeah, because 90% of the country don't know that.
I got a guy who could draw in the crowd, and he did his own kind of what's his name? Alec Baldwin played him. So did the guy from The Office and Harrison Ford. Tom Clancy, something or other.
That's Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan. Michael B. Jordan. He was in kind of I think it was a Tom Clancy movie, but he did one earlier this year, and it was good. It was fine. I think Michael B. Jordan could probably draw in a crowd.
Season 3 is out this month, I believe, on Prime.
Of Jack Ryan.
Yep. Yeah. John Krasinski, a guy I never would have thought, seeing as an action star, and he pulls it off.
He got me for that in the movie. Freaking hell, what was it? It was all about the what does it matter anyhow? That whole thing where the soldiers were left behind at the embassy. Excuse me.
Lone Survivor or 13 Hours.
13 Hours. That was it. Yeah, that he got me as an action star on that one. I was like, okay.
Actually, I think that was the last movie I actually watched that was a serious and actually enjoyed.
You tagged me.
And the sad thing is based off a real story.
You know what helped sell John Krasinski as an action star for me?
Mr. Fantastic?
No, not ever having seen an episode of The Office.
I've seen parts of The Office, and like, it was kind of fun, but it was.
I'm sure it was a tough sell for people that knew him from that.
And what really worked out is it's the beginning here where he's not a field officer, so he's in shape, but he's not like like Mr. Badass Rambo right off the bat. So that really he kind of progresses. He uses his mind. He starts learning. Yeah,
but it's like Chris Pratt. His first action role was Guardians is a comedy. So the fat dopey guy from Parks and Rec, buffed up, but he's playing. It's still comedic. So I said, I'm sure that I said that. I didn't have that Office character to compare him to. So I mean, I love Jack Ryan.
Well, the other thing is that if Avatar 2 does bonkers well, you're going to see a lot more voice acting. As far as movies, you're not going to see live action.
I'm so jazzed for Avatar 2. I know there's a lot of people in the audience that are just over the whole Avatar thing, and I hope
it does well. Like I said, it's invest all this time. I mean, because if he doesn't, I guess he already filmed the other 3 after this.
I think they're still filming, but I don't know.
Speaking of people that have taken a sharp left turn.
Yeah, what the hell? I'm sorry, but dude, no.
That will keep some people away.
Testosterone is not bad, okay? There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. There just isn't, and this is not opinion. It is not an opinion. It's fact. What they talk about is bad behavior. That's it. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Freaking hell. you tell them, oh, well, we're talking about people who try to be forceful and put themselves in. Okay, what about a woman when she does it? See, it's not toxic femininity. It's just bad behavior. It's just a behavior, whether or not you think it's bad or not. And they're trying to say that a lot of stuff that guys do is toxic. Oh, shut the
there's a lot. There's a lot of revenge stories with girls. There was that Columbia, whatever movie was, with a girl, she was trafficked, and then she gets revenge. Columbiana, yeah.
I don't know what the end game is with the push to feminize society. We feminize men and masculinize women. What? Like I said, what's the end game here? Because it's undeniable, and you've got so many high-profile people playing along who don't believe one goddamn word of it.
Yep.
And I don't see. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's say we achieve the one opinion society. The men are all feminine, women are all masculine. What have you accomplished? I said I don't know what the point of all of it is, honestly.
I kind of hope
but yeah.
I mean, they had some good stuff going. I mean, and they had the right ideas for Uncharted. I just wish they would have not cast Mark Wahlberg for being, a guy playing who's real deep voice, and always has a cigar in his mouth. Instead he's
Alicia Masters.
Yeah, Alicia Masters. When you play the games for Uncharted and you see the voice actors, how they act and perform, you just don't see Tom Holland. Tom Holland would be work for a flashback.
There you go. I think MARANYA pretty much said the obvious there. I can't believe it. Yep. And I've heard that posited. So yeah, that's
to have zero population growth.
Yeah. What better way? I mean, you think about it. What other form of population control is championed by the same people? Not just championed. I mean, enthusiastically championed.
There was a YouTuber who unfortunately died recently. He was a black guy, always appeared in a suit, giving relationship advice. Real smooth guy. And this woman, he calls up on a show and he says, what can I do for you? And she's talking about how she doesn't understand why guys don't want to date her. And he says, well, what do you bring to the table? And, describe yourself. And she describes herself, well, I'm strong, I'm independent, I'm good at business, I make my own money, I've got my own house, I've got my own. He goes, you're describing yourself as a man. And he was talking about, don't be afraid to be a woman. People are telling you have to be this instead of that, and that this is. But the truth is you're just, when a guy hears all these kind of things, they're hearing you as a guy, not a woman. I forget my point, but still, that's an awesome story. Kevin Samuels is cool. Thank you for the name there, Rhaegar.
But I'll just say this. So Stargirl is actually, if you guys haven't watched that show, that actually that's how you actually do anything as far as comic book or just TV shows in general today. Everyone was fleshed out, had character growth in this. Even Pat, who's kind of like the sidekick, gets his own shining moment. Plays Stripesy, yeah. Oh my gosh, that ending!
What an ending, man! That was the worst part about the finale. We found out what was that it's the finale, that they're not going to have a season 4. Holy crap, that was awesome, sir.
But I like it. It says never the end, but you also get is if they ever, since the CW is no longer be doing stuff, if they ever really bring it back, I'm just curious if they would, or if they, like I said, if Jeff Johns isn't running a TV series, then I hope he continues Stargirl in comic book form, with that same cast, all that stuff, the characters.
It was it was a great freaking show. And I remember when it first came on, a lot of people gave it shit because the kids were taking it. CW. They're not going to put in 65 freaking year old Jay Garrick, who by the way made an appearance in the final episode. But they're not going to. They're not going to do that. It's CW, so naturally they're going to bring it to the young kids. But they gave a good reason for it, and then they followed it up with an incredible adventure where they're fighting the remainder of the JSI.
Eric, what do you think about having a Bosch movie? Titus Welliver.
I'd rather continue the series.
Well, yeah, this could be another standalone a side thing apart from the series, but it still ties in later in the series. It could be like in between.
I mean, I wouldn't mind one after the series is wrapped, if like a couple years before he gets too old to play him. But yeah, I said it's. I mean, they've got a hell of a formula. I said I liked Bosch better than
Legacy. Yes, obviously
than Legacy because the supporting cast.
Yes, Edgar.
Because they honestly my two least favorite characters, and I'm not saying I don't like them, but those are the two that made the jump with him. Yeah, I mean,
Crane Barrel, you're horrible.
Well, Crane Barrel and J. Edgar and Billets, they were all great.
Yeah, it's like I said. Have you watched Bosch at all on Amazon?
No, and I probably won't. I mean, and that's not to say anything about your opinion of anything. It's just there's so much stuff out there.
I would say drop everything else and just watch that alone, and then you'll realize why am I wasting my time on everything else? Because
I've heard the same thing about so many other things. So.
Take it from me. I'm not a cop show person. I don't really watch like cop dramas. I sat down, I watched this. I was like, "Oh, Eric's playing it full of shit. I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not gonna like it." And then I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I'm gonna tell you why.
I've gotten old.
I'm gonna tell you why E is why I don't try to sell E on it. It's in my top 10, but so are the Americans, The Wire, Homicide. I don't think Eve. Have you seen any of those shows?
I haven't watched The Wire. No.
Justified is
but I've heard only good things about it. I haven't watched The Tick yet on the Prime, which I always wanted to do. Yep. I've got so many of the comic book shows I haven't caught up to. No. And they're just some of the new ones too that have come out. This Peripheral show with what's her name, Hit Girl. That looks cool to me. So there's so much stuff out there. In all honesty,
I think you kind of need a little bit of a genre hook to more than I do. I mean, I've read so many comic books in my life. When it comes to television, I kind of go in the other direction.
Well, sometimes I'll put on a show because it just looks fun. Or I watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and that freaking made me laugh like a sieve up until the very last season, which I haven't continued with.
Well, I said, the gay captain is
Andrew Brower.
Yeah, is so good on Homicide that it's frightening. Yeah. But no, it's just like in my top. There is not a comic book property in my top 10 all-time shows or movies. Yeah, I'm just. I'm kind of. Like I said, that's kind of my retreat from the hobby.
Okay.
So I mean, do I think you'd like Bosch? I know you would, but if you never get to it, I don't think you'll feel like you missed anything. So
I got Bosch, Jack Reacher, Jack Ryan. I mean, what was the other
I want to watch Reacher.
Yeah,
I'll get to it at some point in time.
Terminal
Terry
List.
Crews is funny. Terry Crews is freaking hilarious. I dig that entire cast. But the season 8. So season 8 starts up, and it took place like right after all of the they had to mask up and all that kind of shit. But also it took place during like right after the BLM riots. So they get there and they start talking bad about New York cops. And I was like, dude, you should have at least done the freaking research to find out what was going on. But instead they just leaned heavy on the, New York cops are abusive and all that kind of stuff. So I never watched the final season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but leading up to it, freaking hilarious. But like I'll put on shows like that, or we watch Rockford Files and we watched Columbo recently, me and Gail. Dick Van Dyke is in my top 10 of all time, and I can watch that any day of the week.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Good stuff. Not in my top 10, but it was entertaining. But I'll put on something, but modern, I don't know.
It's gonna be weird though. Going as a Sonic Picks about this, because we do reviews on the Geeky Poke Show, and I was looking like next year, what's even left on the CW? Flash, and then what? That's ending. And then Superman and Lois for how long they decide before they said to axe that. But for comic book shows, that's really it. Unless they really go ahead with a Gotham Knights thing, which I don't think they will. If they're axing, because why would they get rid of Stargirl if you're going to bring in Gotham Knights? But then again, it's
because Gotham is recognizable.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like I like Smallville, but Stargirl, much better.
Yeah, MK, to answer your question, yeah, I watched both of them. Big fan of both. I'm just but I wouldn't put either one of them in the same stratosphere as like The Wire.
You know what? We need a TV show tier list now. The Wire, Yellowstone, Tulsa King, great. I never thought I'd like a Stallone movie or not. Sorry, Stallone TV series. I never think he'd do one. This is the first one he's ever done. He's 76 years old, and it is just great.
If you were going to do a TV series thing, though, there has to be some kind of minimum seasons, because I said, Terriers is one of the best shows I've ever seen. It was gone in 1 year.
Yeah.
So it didn't have time to devolve into something that, sometimes the show will stick around too long, like Dexter, maybe. And like there's a drop off the last couple of years. But I think like a show would have to last like 4 or 5 years to qualify for a best of thing.
Rhaegar Samaritan was horrible, but Tulsa King is like a 180. What do you know?
Wait, what did you say? Samaritan was horrible? I loved that movie, man. That was fun. Oh no, don't listen to him. He talks to Rob all the time. Everything sucks over there.
Really? Tulsa King's great.
Samaritan was a good time. It was a good movie. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best superhero movie of the year, but it was definitely a good film. It was a fun film.
I expected more of the final battle. I expected more of a big reveal, but that was like, But
I knew it from the beginning. The big reveal I didn't see coming, but obviously we would find out.
It had a 90s feel, like what, like Steel with Shaquille O'Neal.
No, it was better. It was good. I haven't seen Samaritan yet. I do want to check that out.
Oh, you haven't seen it then? Okay.
But no, I'm on board for Stallone.
So was I.
Well, I mean, by that I mean if Stallone does it, I want to watch it. That's basically it.
Of course, that's the draw of anything Stallone does, because he's one of the few older actors that are still going around and still making stuff that people like. Yep. But,
I liked Samaritan. I thought it was a good time. It was fun. It's not overly complicated though. So don't expect.
It just felt like, why isn't this on Nickelodeon?
What? No, now you're just being facetious.
Facetious.
Yeah, it's
Don't use those big words.
It means pooping a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's facetious.
Yeah, well, it's my accent. Sorry, it's actually facetious.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is Stallone carries Rambo and all those other awesome movies when he's done in his early career. It was like what, from 1970s to like what, to the 90s. Yeah, he did a lot of good movies.
You do good boy.
Yeah, it's just we're losing so many of the better actors, and what's left are just kind of like, all right, I guess I'll just watch more TV, or try to. Like I'm doing. Like I told Rob, I'm watching more back issues of TV series and movies. I go that I have new watch.
I go check out the classics. I would actually Gail started me on Columbo. I never watched it as a kid, and when my parents watched it, I found it boring. So to me, Columbo was always this boring ass TV show my mom and dad liked to watch in the 70s. So I saw like half of one episode, never again. And Gail goes, "Oh, I used to watch this. It's good." I'm like, "Oh, okay, we'll watch it." put it on, and I'm like riveted. I am done. This is my life now for 13 freaking seasons. I'm watching Columbo. It got to the point where Gail was at, can we take a break? Watch something else? No, we're going to finish Columbo, and then we'll, yeah.
Now, Venk, I think one of the reasons why you're watching more television is, I guess you can probably thank The Sopranos for this, but a movie has to make millions and millions of dollars or there's not going to be another one. You can make a television show that might reach 1 million, 1.5 million and be profitable. Because like I said, like the Americans never got over like 1.3. That was a good week for them, but it lasted 6 seasons because it was very good. And you could charge more for ad revenue because it reached a smarter audience. Movies, you don't really have that luxury. So, you're seeing a lot more quality come to the small screen in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, I said I'm watching more of the older TV series than I am more of the.
Well, when you say old, like what?
Rockford Files, Sanford and Son. I'm going back to like the 80s, man, 70s.
70s, but
yeah. But
also, in those days, though, there were 3 networks and they were freaking cutthroat.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody brought their A games. I mean, good shows got canceled in a year.
Starsky and Hutch, T.J. Hooker.
Well, I said good shows.
I think everybody knows. Well, whoa. I say whoa. Starsky and Hutch, not a good show.
No, it was a fun show. It was
a fun show. I agree with you on that one. Plus, in all honesty, that is.
Of course,
I want the car. That is, yeah.
Oh, you want Hutch's sweater?
I'll admit though, Starsky and Hutch isn't as good as watching Bill Bixby and the Incredible Hulk.
Oh no, I'd watch Starsky and Hutch over the Incredible Nap all day long.
The Incredible Nap.
Yes,
I like that.
Okay, but you know what? You're not going to speak ill of Wonder Woman. That one is fun, and that one.
Oh no, Wonder Woman is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
the Incredible Hulk is a slog.
I can't wait until we get a new one. We have Nebula as a new TV series. The new whatever her name is, Nubia.
Oh, yeah, like I said, and when I watch Wonder Woman, I try not to think this is the same woman that sent out this week. There's no competition. We're both Wonder Women, and vote Warnock.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like, come on. Yeah, it's like, really. Again, I don't know why you would do it on either side. I mean, nobody's going to do it on the right because there's,
Well, do you hear what Cher said though? She said Britney is free. People are like, Britney Spears finally. People were just trolling her.
Yeah, Cher. Like I said, how the hell is she? I don't know how she and Sonny were ever married.
It must have been like sex. That's about it.
I don't know.
I don't think it's. I mean, even that.
You know what? I gotta say, and since you brought up sex and Cher at the same time, I like pre-fake boob Cher better. I just think she was prettier. Yeah. There. No. Okay. Anyway, keep going.
No, it's but hell, what she's got to be mid-70s now.
Yeah. Well, pre-fake boob Cher was in the 80s, so and 70s. So
70s,
I'm not talking about 90-year-old Cher here. Although
Rhaegar says I didn't like Cher in any age.
Yeah. Everybody's got their
76
opinions. What, 76 was pre-boob?
No, she's 76.
Oh, she's 76.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think she's 90. Yeah.
All righty.
No, but I'm just going back, like, and thinking, like,
let's see. Starsky and Hutch movie was pretty good. I agree.
Highlander was I can't believe the Highlander was a flop, but it's such a fantastic movie.
Yeah, pretty good TV show too.
Fallen had the same problem with Denzel Washington. Fallen was a flop.
I'll tell you why. And I think this is okay. This is what I think happened, because this is what happened with me. I did not like Fallen. The previews which I saw plenty because, once again, projectionist, the previews told you what was going on. Okay? It told you that this guy can pass back and forth into different people's bodies. And then you get the movie. And for the first half of the movie, it's a mystery. What's going on? Who's doing this? So the audience has to wait for Denzel to catch up to what they already know. And by that time, yeah, why it's checked out. Now the last half is pretty good. It's got its moments. John Goodman's in it, and he's a freaking he's a go-to guy for acting. You just put him in a role, he's going to kick ass. But overall, you already knew what was going on. You already knew the big mysteries. So, Fallen kind of messed up. I think people who watch it now will get more out of it than those of us who were waiting for it at the beginning. I would say Kiki for not liking Fallen, but this is his channel. Plus, I'm right. I'm right. I was there. So
I can put him behind. You know,
I'll bet Rhaegar saw the movie after its release in theaters. If you watch it after the release in theaters, after everything has died down and you don't talk about the previews and all that kind of stuff anymore, it's going to be a bigger thing. I would also say watch a movie called Ransom starring Mel Gibson,
good movie.
Which is better if you do not ever watch the preview.
Is that the one? No, wait. Is that the one with Lucy Liu? Or is that Payback? I think Lucy Liu's in Payback.
That's Payback, and that's a hell of a lot of fun.
I like that one too.
Payback is a ton of fun.
Bone Collector was another Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah.
Like that. Deja Vu.
Let's see. One series that was canceled way too soon was Forever, with the actor who played Mr. Fantastic in the Tim Story movies. It was solid premise. Never saw that. And Rhaegar saying the audience usually knows what's going on anyway if you can read movies well. Yeah, well, this is exactly, they told you what was going on. And yeah, there you go.
That's the problem with trailers, is that they don't know how to cut them, or they figure you're going to watch it regardless whether you watch a trailer or not.
Now, yeah, that's part of why I don't like to watch trailers, because I can see, oh, wait, that action scene there also took place in that action scene. So what we're getting here, and I can put shit together. So I'll watch the first one and then I'm good. How about Nobody versus John Wick versus Taken? Nobody was actually fun. I didn't think it was. I mean, Bob Odenkirk is an action star. Who knew? Right?
Coming in playing his father.
Yeah, who knew that was going to be?
Yeah, who knew that an actor could act in other genres other than what he's known for?
Well, it's crazy. One thing. Look, a lot of comedy actors go to dramas, but very few of them go into not just action, but straight up action. So yeah, that was something.
But on that note, guys, I'm gonna go make some dinner before.
Actually, I think it's a good time to bow out. We've been on this for 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Why don't you eat before you go on these streams? I've done that already.
Oh no, I'm in the same way. I was looking up pizzas. I'm wanting to get some.
All right, guys. While you guys were talking about movies.
All righty, kids. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you've been hanging out with us for the last half, we already did the Batman stuff, but thank you anyway. Let's see, what do we got going on? Tomorrow night is the auction. Wow, I gotta create an auction here. All right, so at 8 p.m. Eastern, we showed off some of the books. I did not get a chance to show off I got another one. I got the first appearance. Where did I put it? The first appearance of Big Barda. I got that book and apparently misplaced it. That's a good book to misplace. Gee, that is not good at all. Wow. But yeah, I got a copy of the first appearance of Big Barda here somewhere. I've got to find to put in the auction. And as well as I showed some of the other awesome books the other day that are going to be in the auction. So a lot of cool stuff. Starts at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Thank you very much, and please join us then, 8 p.m. Eastern. And thank you to Eric and the Vile Black Cat and RDV, and thank you, all of you guys, for watching. Have a good night.
Believers. Have a good night.
Good night, kids.
Thank you. I forgot what I was saying. Yes, and thank you to True Believers. I don't care. All right, y'all have a good one. See you later.
Excelsior.